A very warm good morning to one and all present over here. I hope with the permissions of Sachind ji Dedhiya sir, shall we start this session?
Sir, if you can hear me?
Yes, we are ready, sir. May I request Sachin sir, shall we start this session?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Sir, your video.
Sir, there's some network issue. I'll start my video once my bandwidth is proper. So okay. I can start, sir?
Yes, may I request your anchor first? There will be introduction. Then okay, sir.
Okay. Okay.
I request Kaushal. Please kindly proceed further. Kaushal.
एक मिनिट मला पोस्ट करायचं.
Audible, no? Kaushal, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are absolutely audible.
I hope Kaushal here. I want to mute better.
Okay, unmuted है तो voice नहीं. पोस्ट कर.
बोलतो पण आवाज त्याचा आवाज नाही.
माईक जवळ धर म्हणून. माईक जवळ धर.
Kaushal, you are not audible. I request you please keep your mic near you. You might on mute positions. Kindly unmute it.
Kolte sir, it seems that there is some technical issue from the side of Kaushal. Till the time he joins with us, can we start?
He joined, but he said that
yes, some audio problem is there, na? So
Kaushal, please join the test speaker. There is an option near to the mute. Test speaker and microphone. नहीं आवाज नहीं आ रही. बस बस.
बदले my call is ready on.
I hope Kaushal is not responding us properly, but there is a technical problem. With the permission of the Kotapalli madam, that I will and our chief speaker, I will start the program. Good morning, all present over here, dear participants, and today's resource person, Dr. Shri Sachind Dedhiya sir. I welcome you all in today's four sessions. Four-day session and first session on the topic of cyber security laws during COVID-19. I welcome you all again. I request our coordinator of accuracy, Dr. Aparna Kotapalli madam, kindly deliver the welcome address.
Good morning, all honorable dignitaries present for this session and dear participant friends. Now we have reached to the fourth session of understanding the emerging trends in cyber crimes. Since last 3 days, we are learning many things relating to the cyber world, internet connectivity issues, and even cyber security. And for today, we feel honored that Honorable Shri Sachind Dedhiya sir, whose name is much known as a cyber investigator, not only for Maharashtra state, but all over the India, the personality which is well known for the cyber investigation is with us for today's session. And I feel honored to propose the welcome address for the August gathering. First of all, let me welcome the President or the Chairperson of the District Legal Services Authority, Honorable Shri Tekale sir, Principal Judge, Aurangabad District and Session Court. Further, I also welcome Secretary of District Legal Services Authority, Aurangabad. I feel honored to welcome our collaborator at Advanced Center of Research, Development and Training in Cyber Laws and Forensics, NLSIU Bangalore. I further feel privileged that our institution is having a memorandum of understanding with NLSIU Bangalore. And even during this COVID period, pandemic situations, we have not stopped the academic endeavors with MOU with NLSIU. And I further consider that this particular event, though is a joint venture, along with District Legal Services Authority, also we have joined our hands with NLSIU. And while welcoming the members and Development Center, Training Center, I also thank all the authorities from NLSIU for having collaboration with us for this event too. I welcome Honorable Dr. C.M. Rao, Principal of MP Law College, Professor S.N. More sir, who is Vice Principal of MP Law College, all the faculty members, and all those stakeholders who are working hard for the success of this event. And of course, dear participants, you too, let us enjoy this particular session, learning ahead the cyber security laws during COVID-19, as the use of cyber world has increased during the pandemic situation. I thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity to propose welcome address. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, madam. Now, our today's chief speaker, Dr. Sachind sir, I am going to introduce him. Dr. Sachind sir is an independent cybercrime investigator and also a certified ethical hacker Council USA. He is also a certified international trainer in the field of cyber security, ethical hacking, cybercrime investigations, and digital forensics. Since many years, he is working as an independent cybercrime investigator and also as an IT security expert for various MNCs, SMEs, government departments, corporate and individuals. He has also provided training to Mumbai, various other state police departments. He has also been assisting various other government departments of India with respect to their cybercrime queries. Since 2010, he has been successfully conducting various seminars and workshops across numerous schools, colleges, universities, chartered accountants chapters, Rotary clubs, hospitals, etc. Overall, over all the sectors of the society, he is one of the most popular speakers in Mumbai University for the repression and heritage curses since 2010. He was privileged to give seminar in the Rajbhavan, that is the in Governor's Office, Mumbai. 9 years of experience in vulnerability assessment and penetration testing. ISO 27001 network VIPT, web application VIPT. He has conducted numerous audits for various international as well as national clients, corporate and government departments. He has been conducting corporate workshops and is associated with various prestigious associations like Indo-American Society, Bombay Chambers of Commerce and Industry, Princeton Academy, ICI, and Bankers Training College. Sachind sir founded Skynet Security Solution, a company headquartered in Mumbai. He specialized in cyber security and digital forensics. Skynet Security Solutions was recently recognized as one of top 20 cyber security consultant company in India by Consultant magazines. He has successfully conducted over 500 seminars and workshops across India and enlightened over more than 75,000 participants. We have such a versatile personality and experienced guest today who is going to deliver on the important topic. During this COVID-19, we have witnessed many online frauds. Therefore, sir is going to deliver his presentations on the topic of cyber security laws during COVID-19. Thank you, sir. I welcome you, sir, again in this 5 days webinar on the cyber emerging trends in cyber crimes. Thank you, sir. Over to you, sir.
Sure. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. And good morning, everybody. I would like to say thanks to all the dignitaries for having me and inviting me to conduct this session. And just as sir suggested, it's like I'm going to keep this session as a very practical session. Okay, so I'm going to show you the recent cyber crimes which have been happening, during COVID, prior to that also. Okay, so I'm going to show some live demos. Okay, and I'm going to keep it as an interactive one, in the sense like as soon as I finish my first topic or one or two topics, if you have any doubts, any questions, you can come and ask me at any point of time. Okay. So like, when sir introduced me, I believe all of you must have listened that one of my qualifications is I'm a certified ethical hacker, like CEH, certified ethical hacker. Now, this is one of the only professions in the entire world where we have to use the word ethical before we can say we are a hacker, right? I mean, no other profession will ever come and tell you that I'm an ethical CA, ethical doctor, or ethical lawyer, right? But our profession demands this. Reason. See, you go to any function, okay? I mean, before COVID also, when I used to go to any marriage, I'm talking about 3 4 years back. I used to go to any marriage or any function. Some uncle or some auntie is going to come and ask you कि बेटा आप क्या काम करते हो, okay? And very proudly if I tell them that uncle I am a hacker, okay, you imagine what their reaction would be. They would take 2 steps backwards. They will keep the phone inside the pocket, okay? And after that we do not even used to get their visiting cards or their mobile numbers also, right? This is the impact that we create when somebody will say that he is an ethical hacker or a hacker also, right? Now, uh, during COVID, we can see that lot of businesses must have gone down. Okay, but one of the businesses that really boomed was nothing but the cybercrime business itself. Okay, we can see now hackers or criminals, they become more brave, they become more bold, they become more courageous. That now they are making calls after calls, Paytm calls or your Aadhaar linkage calls or your OLX frauds and everything like that. And I'm just going to show you exactly how these frauds happen, okay, in a very practical manner itself. So I'll just share my screen. Okay, all of you can see my screen.
Yes, sir, your screen is visible to us.
Done. Okay, sir. So now what I'm going to start is I'm going to start with something called as Facebook. Okay. Now see, purposefully, what I've done is I've kept a saved username and password. You can see this, everybody over here, right? This is on purpose. I can go and take any other email ID over here. Okay, and I'll put a password. Okay, I put a username, I put a password. Now, what I need to ask all of you a very simple question is, and you can answer me on chat also, and honestly tell me, how many of you have kept saved or stored passwords in your personal laptop or desktops? कितने लोगों ने पासवर्ड्स को रिमेम्बर में करके रखा होगा फॉर एनी वेबसाइट्स?
No, sir. I didn't capture any of this. Only on my personal diary or somewhere, but not in laptop.
Not in laptop. Okay, sir. Okay, I guess quite a few of you must have kept it. Now I'm just going to show you basically one of the easiest ways to how to see this password. Okay, just one of the best ways. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the mouse in the password field. Then I do right click. Okay, then I go to the name of the last option, inspect. You can see this over here. I click on that. Okay, once I click on that, here you can see a blue line opening over here. Can you see this? Input type is equal to password, class is input text. But here I can see a word what? Password, right? Type is equal to password. So all I now need to do is double click on the word password, change it to word text, press enter, and I hope all of you can see the password over there in clear text, right? I'll repeat. Okay, I'll use this username and I'm going to put in a password. Okay, now again I'm going to show you how to see this password. Okay, so what we do is we bring the mouse in the password field, then we do right click. Okay, we go to the name of the last option, inspect. We click on that. Once we click on that, here we see a line, input type is equal to password, class is input text. So what I'm going to do is this type is equal to password. Now I'm just going to double click on the word password, change it to word text, press enter, and we can see the password over there in clear text. I hope all of you got this. Everybody? This trick will work everywhere, no? On your Facebook, on your LinkedIn, on your net banking also, on every browser, Opera, Google Chrome, Firefox, everywhere. Okay, and now here comes the problem. See, anytime when your laptop or mobile is going to go for repairs, अभी आप समझो, in your personal laptop you have saved some passwords, right? And in your personal laptop something will go bad. मतलब motherboard, RAM, screen, charger, कुछ ना कुछ तो खराब होगा ही होगा. In every 3 months, 6 months or 9 months में कुछ खराब होगा. Where do you give your laptop for repairs? अगर पर्सनल लैपटॉप में कुछ खराब होता है तो रिपेयर करने के लिए किधर जाता है?
हार्डवेयर शॉप से.
राइट, हार्डवेयर रिपेयर शॉप्स, कोई हार्डवेयर मेंटेनेंस वाला बंदा आएगा, कोई एमसी वाला बंदा रहेगा, राइट, कोई सम लोकल पर्सन. ही विल कम, ही विल टेक योर लैपटॉप, देन ही विल से कि सर एक दिन लैपटॉप लेके जाता हूँ, बाद में पूरा साफ करके दे दूंगा. I'll take your laptop for one day, I'll clean it up and I'll give it back to you. Now what he is doing, he is taking away your laptop and he is also taking away your hard disk. लैपटॉप के अंदर के हार्ड डिस्क. Can he now remove your hard disk, connect your hard disk to his own laptop or desktop and start the Windows? So whose Windows will start? किसका Windows शुरू होगा? Make a guess, anybody? Whose Windows is going to start? Suppose if somebody takes away your laptop and removes your hard disk and connects your hard disk to his own laptop or desktop and then starts, तो किसका Windows शुरू होगा? Our own. I hope it is clear.
Our, yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Now
sir.
you will not even know a single username and password. You know what you will do? You will just go to www.facebook.com or Gmail, and there you will see all the users that you must have opened. का list आ जाएगा. You will select any one of that user, press a tab. Now, if that username has got a saved password, I hope you all understand. He will do right click, inspect, and he will come to see what is your password. Now there is a bigger problem. Suppose I'm just giving an example. अगर you came to know my Facebook का password, can you try my Facebook password on my Gmail ID also? मतलब now you come to know my Gmail ID. ठीक है, dear, this is my Gmail ID. Scan and secure, Sachind @ scan and secure. Now can you make an attempt of putting my Facebook password on my Gmail ID also? If it is the same, then you will get access to my Gmail ID also. If it is not the same, what will you stand to lose? Nothing. I hope you understood this particular thing. Any doubts, any questions in this, please ask me. Anything coming to your mind with respect to this point, please ask me.
Sir, crystal clear, sir, from my side.
Yes. I hope you understood what I wanted to show, matlab basically teach you. Now, what do we learn from this? Learning is very simple. Okay, anytime when our laptop or mobile goes for repairs, okay, and it comes back from repairs, what we need to do? Change our passwords. Anytime when our laptop or mobile goes for repairs and it comes back from repairs, we need to learn to change our passwords. Second is, if our stored passwords like our Gmail ID, which anything which we have saved as passwords, should not be similar to our net banking or financial related passwords. Matlab, social media passwords like Facebook, Instagram should be separate than our net banking passwords. I hope this was clear. Okay, I'll answer Suhana Jai's question. What if only our IDs are auto saved? Then it is okay, ma'am. Then it is okay. Agar sirf ID saved hai, okay, and password is not there, matlab password blank aa raha hai. I'm just giving an example, you know, like this. If you're saying like this, okay, well, email ID is already there, password is not there, right? Then it is very difficult to get that password. और कोई इतना मेहनत नहीं करता है, honestly speaking. Unless somebody has got a grudge against you, otherwise they will know. I hope this was clear, everybody. Okay, shall I move on to the next point?
Yes, sir.
Okay, done. Now I just want to ask a question. How many of you are using Gmail ID as your official email ID, and also as your email ID only? आपका
Sir,
email
me.
ID पूछता है तो बोलते हो आप @gmail है. How many majority of you? शायद everyone.
Sir,
Basically, almost everyone.
everyone, yes.
Yes.
Now अभी हो क्या रहा है, I'll also honestly tell you, मतलब we all of us been into the educational field or into the finance field or into the law field also. We have to log in into various websites, and nowadays these websites also come with this very unique thing, कि log in via Gmail or log in via Facebook. Am I right? Or what we have to do is we have to give our Gmail ID to log in into the website, right? I think majority of you must have done the same. एंड अभी तो हमको खुद को नहीं पता है कि कौन सी वेबसाइट के ऊपर जाके क्या लॉगिन करके रखा है, राइट? आई मीन कितनी वेबसाइट के ऊपर कर दिया हम लोगों जीमेल या फेसबुक का. Agreed, everybody? I mean, we must have logged in and we must have lost the track also. How many websites we must have logged in? True. Now, my one request to all of you would be, when we log in, we do not know whether that website or that application in which we are logging through our email ID, whether he has got access to our email accounts or not, or how much access he is getting to our email account, right? Because then they do not need to hack anything. उनको वैसे बैठे बैठे पूरा डेटा मिल जाए. So what my request to you is, you please follow my steps, what I'm about to show you. For those who are using Gmail IDs and those who have done login via Gmail, okay? Can you see my Gmail ID, everybody? Right? What I'm doing is, you can see at the right hand side top, okay? See at the right hand side top, can you see the icon? वो आपको भी दिखेगा, वही icon. मेरा ये तो icon है, आपका नाम होगा, किसी का फोटो रहता है, whatever it is, but that is the that is what you can say the icon of your email account, right? I click on that, then you get something called as manage your Google account. Manage your Google account. Okay, one more thing which I forgot to tell you is that I have prepared the PPTs for all the steps which I am doing. Okay, I have prepared it, मतलब PPT है, steps है. I'll be sharing it with all of you. It is just that I do not wanted to show you anything via PPT. मतलब basically I just wanted to make it live. I mean practical itself. I'll share the PPTs with sir. I'm sure all of you will get the PPTs, but I'm just showing you live only. I said manage your Google account. I'll click on that. Okay. Now here I will click on, you can see on the right hand side, left hand side, sorry, home. You see where my mouse is, home, personal info, data and security, right? I click on the word security. Okay. Now if I come down here, if you see na third party apps with account access, here, third party apps with account access. Okay, I'll click on manage third party access, manage third party access. I'll click on that. Now here what we need to see is all the applications, even on mobile or on websites, wherever we must have logged in via Gmail, what all access is that third party application taken off our email accounts. So यहाँ पे आप देखो, everybody can see this. Dropbox, can you see? Dropbox, I think all of you must be aware of Dropbox, Google Drive, OneDrive. Similarly, ऐसा Dropbox होता है. Dropbox has got access to my Google contacts. तो मैंने Dropbox के अंदर है ना ये वाला email ID के थ्रू लॉगिन किया होगा. As a result of which Dropbox can get to see my Google contacts. Google contacts only, not mail. Contact list, email accounts. Second, WhatsApp Messenger has got access to my entire Google Drive. क्यों? क्योंकि I am taking the backup of WhatsApp on Google Drive. That is the reason WhatsApp has got access to my Google Drive. I hope it is clear. Now, when I click on Dropbox, okay, you can see what access he can see and download my contacts. Dropbox can. And what WhatsApp can do? WhatsApp can view and manage all my Google Drive files, basically. But till date, no other application can see all my emails as of now. I am not allowed anybody to access my emails. Okay, so like what Suvarnaji is saying was also right. On app, we have to compulsory give access to our email. They take our access, but then we have to come into our email ID and then see whether any application has got full access or not to our email accounts. I hope this is clear. Is this point clear, everybody? This
Yes,
is what we need to take after my session is over. I'll repeat the steps again. Okay, you see this is how our email account looks like. Okay. I'll go into the right hand side very top. I'll click on that. यहाँ पे आके manage your Google account. Okay. I'll share the steps also, but manage your Google account. Over there, security, left hand side for security. And then if I come down here, this is what we have to look for. Third party apps with account access. Manage third party account access. And here I would request all of you, whenever you have time during lunch break or after the sessions are over today, okay, please go through this and ensure that nobody has none of the applications should have full access to your email accounts. देखो कॉन्टेक्ट ठीक है, ईमेल आईडी जा रहा है ना, बाकी लोगों के मोबाइल नंबर जा रहे हैं, okay, but nobody should get full access to your email account. Like you can come down, I'll come down, you can see this. मैंने गूगल अकाउंट साइन इन प्रॉम्प्ट्स भी, मतलब फुल कॉन्टैक्ट, ड्रॉप बॉक्स, ग्लास डोर, एक्सआईगो, कोरा, ट्रू कॉलर, जूम, यहाँ पे भी मैंने ईमेल अकाउंट यूज किया है, जीमेल का. I have used my email account on this website also, but none of them have got access to my email IDs. None of them have got full access to my email account. Only these two are accessing some of my Google contacts and my Google Drive. I hope this point was clear, everybody. Any doubts, any questions in this coming to your mind?
Hello, sir. Sir,
Yes.
I have one question.
Yes, sir.
Sir, what if a website is having access to my email ID? Then how to remove that?
Sir, देखिए, I'll just show you, sir. Can you see, like, say, example लेते हैं, sir. I'll just take an example. Say, Dropbox has got access to your email account. I'm just giving an example, sir. So what we need to do, sir, you just need to go into this, follow this process, come over here. If I click over here, sir, here we need to see what all information you can get access, okay? And then you can see this, remove access.
Okay.
So we can remove the access. Otherwise, sir, if there is a website, again, we click on XIGO and we can remove the access.
Okay,
But then,
thank you.
but then problem would be, sir, when you again go into the website now, then you have to log in again or create it, but then you have to click, you have to log in via some new email account. So create another Gmail ID and, you know, like, or some Facebook ID or something of that sort. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
I hope this point was clear, everybody.
Sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm Prajakta. Basically, I have just tried when you are talking to this. So I have access to the basic info, that is view your email address. So view email address is fine enough.
Fine enough, ma'am. Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
that is fine enough. Email address, no? Only email address, right, ma'am? Right,
Yes, sir.
Email address, right? Only this much, no?
Yes, sir.
That is okay.
That is okay.
That is okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. That is okay.
Yeah. Ram. Yeah.
Anyone?
Thank you, sir.
Sure. Okay, I'll move on to the next point now, everybody. Okay, I'll move on. Now, very important point which I'm going to talk about, and whatever I'm going to say now, I would request all of you to send this information to your next generation. Okay, next generation also. Okay. All of you must have taken out the Aadhaar card. Am I right? सब लोग ने आधार कार्ड निकाला होगा. Clear? Now, please, I'm asking you, how many of you have given your biometrics on the phone? कितने लोगों ने अपना अंगूठा के थ्रू फोन को लॉक किया है, फेस दिखा के फोन को अनलॉक कर रहे हो, आंख दिखा के, using your biometric to lock and unlock your devices, phone specifically. Majority of you look you. Okay, now I'm telling all of you to do this compulsory exercise. What I'm about to tell you. See, please remember, everybody. Across the world, na, everybody is after your data. सबको आपका data की जरूरत है. And now what we have done is, हम लोग ने इंडिया में आधार कार्ड निकाला है quite many years back. And Aadhaar card will be linked to all our financial data in the future. Am I right? Everybody, everywhere in the future itself, our Aadhaar will be linked to all our financial data, like our income tax, PAN card, PPF, account statements, everything more or less would be linked to our Aadhaar. And Aadhaar is one of the only proofs in India that also contains our biometrics. I hope all of you still remember that when we took out our Aadhaar, they have taken all our 10 fingers along with our iris. Am I right or wrong? Yes, if you remember, everybody. And please understand one thing, that people are forgetting that biometrics are priceless biometrics. You know, like in our entire life, okay, husband can be changed, wife can be changed, email ID, mobile, city, profession, everything can be changed or altered. But can we change our biometrics or alter our biometrics? I mean, we can do that. I'm not saying that it is not impossible, but it is very deep. It is very difficult to do that. So imagine such a precious and a unique thing. I think all of you know, right? Everyone's biometrics is unique. Such a unique and precious thing. We are giving it for free just to lock one phone. Okay, और वो phone में है क्या? What is there inside of a phone? I mean, all of you realize that every phone that has been manufactured, it is manufactured in China. I mean, China is known as the king of hardware. मतलब you take an iPhone, लिखा हुआ आता है पीछे made in China. You take any OnePlus, Vivo, Oppo, any popular phones, it is written behind made in China. China is known as the king of hardware, and US is known as the king of software. In the sense, you take Windows, Android, iPhone, Mac, Facebook, WhatsApp, Gmail, so cloud servers, कुछ भी लो सॉफ्टवेयर के साइड पे, anything you pick up top 10, it will, all the servers will belong to the US, right? So US is known as the king of software. China is known as the king of hardware. ये छोटा सा छोटा माउस और कीबोर्ड भी आज made in China लिखा हुआ है, right? So in the outside world, if China is known as the king of hardware, US is known as the king of software, so India is known as the king of what? Anybody make any guess? इंडिया को किस चीज का किंग बोला जाता होगा? चाइना किंग ऑफ हार्डवेयर, यूएस किंग ऑफ सॉफ्टवेयर, इंडिया किंग ऑफ व्हाट?
Yes, I would like to interrupt. I would like to interrupt. It's a mixware.
Yes, mixware. Perfectly right, sir. But I would also like to tell you one thing. Absolutely right, sir. But also in the outside world, India is more importantly known as the king of data, right? Like where
exactly. We are creating data.
Yes, we are the consumer.
We are putting
our
information.
data.
Every information we are putting over there.
True.
So they are storing.
Yes. Yes, sir. Now
and there is. I am Adarsh Dhabade. Right from Law College, University Law College, Nagpur.
Okay, sir. So absolutely right, sir. Now, for those who have done this, okay, my request to all of you is, see on my screen now. I would request all of you go to, do this after my session is over. Okay, Aadhaar ki website pe you will have to go, and in Aadhaar website there's a very wonderful option known as lock and unlock your biometrics. You can see this, everybody. Lock and unlock your biometrics. My request to you is very, very simple. If you have given your biometrics, okay, then in the future, there is something called as identity theft. I think all of you would be aware. If somebody can get access to our biometrics, we have already given out our Aadhaar card numbers. Can they try something to get access to our financial data in the future? Can they try to make our own? Can they try to create our own false identity also? Like say tomorrow after 10-15 years, if I want to get my PPF, the PPF will say, give your Aadhaar card along with your biometric. But somebody else can also do the same trick. It's a computer, right? How do I verify that I'm Sachind Dedhiya? Not by saying any document. Kagaz dikha ke to koi bhi proof nahi hai. One of the genuine ways that I'll be able to prove that I'm Sachind Dedhiya is through my biometrics. But if somebody already has a copy of my biometrics, okay, I hope it's a very far-fetched thing. But that is the most important reason I'm telling this, to educate your younger generation also. But for those who are already, my request is learn to do these small things which I'm going to show you. Aadhaar ke upar jaake, we need to lock our biometrics. Reason being, tomorrow if somebody has got access to our biometrics and if they try to do something on the Aadhaar website now, it is already locked, basically. Right. All you need to do is give your Aadhaar card ka number, give the captcha code, whichever is going to come over there. You get an OTP, you give the OTP, and your Aadhaar card ke saath jo biometric hai na, that will be locked. So if anybody tries to access your Aadhaar data, he will not be able to access it. Now there is one more problem. Only one difficulty would be, when you yourself want to verify the Aadhaar, in the sense you go to any government department and you give your Aadhaar card and then you have to give your biometrics, you will not be able to verify your Aadhaar because you have locked your biometrics. Okay. So at that point of time, what you need to do is again come back to the same website, I mean this Aadhaar website, and unlock it. Same process, same process. Unlock your biometric, verify your Aadhaar, and then again lock it. Yeah, just as Atulji also rightly pointed out, okay, for MPSC exams, it is required to be unlocked. So we can verify, this particular thing. I think sir would be much aware. I mean, good point that sir also made me aware of this, basically. So I hope this was clear, this process. And as I said, I'll be sharing the PPT for this also, basically. Okay, now one more, if you are there on the other websites, you can do one more thing. There is something called as, very quickly I'll try to cover this, something called as virtual ID. When somebody says, okay, Sachin, Dedhiya, you have to give your Aadhaar card. So I actually do not give my Aadhaar card number. I create a virtual ID and I give my virtual ID number, and thereby I'm ensuring that I'm not giving my actual Aadhaar card number also, basically. And that virtual ID which I generate over here, we can generate a virtual ID for our Aadhaar card also. That virtual ID is linked to our Aadhaar, but to the world, we are not exposing my Aadhaar card number. We are just exposing our virtual ID, basically. We can do this also, basically. It will take a little bit of time, but once or twice if you do it, then trust me, everywhere you are going to give a virtual ID also. And it is accepted, it is accepted everywhere, basically. Even in eKYC, even in banks, even when you're, giving your Aadhaar card to any government website, you give your virtual ID, it will work, basically. Okay. I hope these 2 points were clear, everybody.
Sachin sir,
Yes, sir.
can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Just I want to go with the provisions of IT Act.
Yes, sir.
And whereby it has been provided ki whether it's offense of persuasion, it's altogether depend upon the computer related offenses.
Right, sir.
Therein section 66C and D, which specifically talk about identity theft or offense of personation. So ultimately, I would like to go through. Definitely, you have gone through, a detailed explanation, practical happening, practically which is going to happen in our own physical world rather than virtual world. All right. I would like to go through the question whether I would like to just mention one, it has been happened, and at the it was a movie, Hollywood movie, The Net, Sandra Bullock, है ना? The concept of identity theft has been very well explained over there, and we are living, almost 25 years have been lapsed. Whether we do have that particular arrangement, all right, we need to change, exchange, all right. But we are using the same. We are using a virtual reality. Okay. So what, Sachin sir, you will be having a suggestion.
You mean to say, sir, you just want to, you want me to tell you that how we can minimize this, or we have to just accept it?
Yeah. Right. Mitigating the scenario, the circumstances, the activities, how we can curtail this?
Right, sir. I'll just explain. See this. What sir is basically trying to ask here is that how we can protect much of our information going out in the digital world, or if it is
Yes.
gone out, then how do we learn to control it, basically, right? Or how do we ensure that we actually do not give too much of our data outside, right? But
Mhm.
like, so my request to you is one thing which I honestly request all of you is, see now I was going to cover something called as mobile also. Okay. In the last 9 months, what I've seen is the change of trend that people now, instead of attacking your email or your laptop, now they are going to attack your phone itself. This is the trend that you have seen in the last 1 month, 1 year, sorry, especially during COVID. Everybody is attacking your mobile. Can reason why is everybody after your mobile now? Because now everything is on the mobile. Am I right? I mean, you have your personal email accounts, you have your photos and videos, you have your WhatsApp messages, you have your call conversations, and now I think everybody would be using at least one wallet on the mobile. एम आई राइट? किसी ने अपना वॉलेट डाल के रखा होगा, गूगल पे, पेटीएम, फोन पे, भीम, एंड क्वाइट मेनी ऑफ यू मस्ट
Exactly,
हैव
exactly, exactly, exactly.
मोबाइल बैंकिंग एप्लीकेशन ऑल्सो. मतलब जो लोग दो दो यूज करते हैं, गूगल पे, फोन पे भी डाल के रखा है, और मोबाइल
Every
बैंकिंग
every 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 other app.
एवरी अदर, राइट?
We have right from Payphone, Google Pay,
Yes.
Payme,
So now I'm
or
just
Paytm.
I'm just giving one example what sir was also wanted me to tell you. Let me give you an example of an application known as Truecaller. I think all of you must be using Truecaller. Majority of you, right? Now, I can show you one. I mean, I can reflect my phone screen over here and I'll be able to show you. I would request all of you can follow these steps, like I don't know, not now, but again later. मैं आपको बाद में बता दूंगा. Apps के अंदर, I mean, sorry, you have to do this something on your phone called as, you will need to go into settings. अभी मत जाना. Settings के अंदर app के अंदर app permissions करके होता है. Basically, you have to just look for the app permissions. App permissions, sorry, वो मैंने permission जो आपकी रह गया. You will be very surprised to see that Truecaller is taking permission to what? Truecaller is taking permission to your microphone. Truecaller also wants permission to your location. Then Truecaller also wants permission to your gallery. Now, if you see Truecaller का काम क्या है? What is the function of Truecaller? Is if somebody gives you a call, अगर that number is in your contact list, तो वो contact list का नाम बताएगा. If that number is not in your contact list in your phone, then Truecaller के database में जो नाम है, जो saved है, वो बताना चाहिए. Like that is the only function of Truecaller. But now what difference does it make to Truecaller कि भाई मैं औरंगाबाद में हूँ, बॉम्बे में हूँ कि बैंगलोर में हूँ? It is just supposed to tell me that contact के सामने नाम क्या है. But no, he wants access to your location. After that, he wants access to your microphone, then your gallery, then your camera. So I hope you're all understanding. This is how majority of the applications will take access to your data. तो हम क्या कर सकते हैं? What we generally request is you will need to spend 15-20 minutes apps के permissions पे जाओ. जैसे मैंने किया है, Truecaller की जो परमिशन है ना, लोकेशन, मेरे को लगता है Truecaller को लोकेशन की जरूरत नहीं है, मैंने ना बोल दिया. माइक्रोफोन की जरूरत नहीं है, ना बोल दिया. स्टोरेज डज नॉट रिक्वायर, नो. गैलरी तो डेफिनेटली नॉट. व्हाई शुड Truecaller get access to my photos? बंद कर दिए. This is what I would request all of you, please learn to do this. I mean, if you really, just like sir wanted, if you really want to protect your data not going out, then you will have to take care of your phone and all the apps, because these are the apps that are going to take away your highest data. आप किधर जा रहे हो, more importantly फोन पे किसके साथ बात कर रहे हो. Like Facebook का, I think all of you would be aware, 6 months back, Facebook ने खुद ने बोला that they listen to people's conversations also, so they can understand उनको कैसी टाइप की ऐड देनी है. I mean, all of you must have experienced this thing ना. आप फोन के ऊपर बात करो, आपको बूट खरीदना है, या आप गूगल के ऊपर सर्च मारो कि आपको बूट या ऐसे कुछ खरीदना है, you want to buy something or you want to go anywhere, next day or after 1 or 2 days you will see ads which are coming to respect to that particular product only. How many, मतलब I'm sure many of you must have experienced that. आप खाली गूगल पे सर्च मारते हो, या 2-3 दिन बात की, या व्हाट्सएप के ऊपर मैसेज भेज दिया, एंड देन द ओनली एड्स दैट यू सी इन फेसबुक विल बी रिस्पेक्ट टू दैट प्रोडक्ट. बेसिकली, लाइक आई एम जस्ट गिविंग एन एग्जांपल. एक ये एक्सपेरिमेंट करके देखना आप लोग. यू जस्ट गो टू गूगल, ओके, गूगल के ऊपर जाके सर्च मारना गोवा हॉलीडेज एंड 2-3 वेबसाइट के ऊपर विजिट मारो like this and spend some time on the website, like this, right? And I think all of you would be aware that after one day or after few hours, the only ads that you will see in Facebook will be with respect to Go holidays. लेफ्ट राइट सेंटर आपको गोवा हॉलीडेज के ऐड ही भेजेगा. इनफैक्ट इतना ऐड भेजेगा ना कि गोवा भेज के ही छोड़ेगा आपको. फ्लाइट डिस्काउंट कूपन्स, होटल डिस्काउंट्स, मतलब ऑल द डिस्काउंट्स विल बी शोन टू यू ओनली. How do they come to know you're interested to go to Goa? Because of this access permissions, because of these cookies and everything like that. But to be honestly speaking, I mean, I'm telling you, all of you on the, I mean, see, we do not need to worry too much about our data also, because जब तक इंडिया में अपना खुद का हार्डवेयर, खुद का सॉफ्टवेयर नहीं आएगा ना, our data is always going to go out. I hope all of you are very clear. We have to make peace with this. We have to make our peace that our data is going to go out, because खुद का हार्डवेयर, खुद का सॉफ्टवेयर कुछ है नहीं. Until we make our own and we have control over it, we will have to surrender our data. इसके लिए ना, in a very light manner, I always tell everybody, इंडिया में अपना डेटा का इतना टेंशन लेने का नहीं. Go home, sleep peacefully, do not worry much about our data. All our data is already gone, is going, and in future also it will go. जा चुका है, जा रहा है, और फ्यूचर में भी जाएगा. लाइक इंडिया में खाली हाथ आए थे, खाली हाथ जाएंगे, ओके. बट अपना अंगूठा, आंख और फेस, कोई तो भी बायोमेट्रिक्स, कोई तो भी सर्वर में रख के जाने वाले. दैट इज द हार्श रियलिटी बेसिकली. Okay, but as much as we can protect, we just have to try our level best to ensure that we protect as much data as possible. Okay, I'll move on to the very interesting point now when I'm talking about mobile. Okay, now what I'm about to show you, as I said, like everybody is after your mobile. Okay, so this is one application which is used by the hackers and by the criminals to go and hack the entire phone itself. मतलब अभी जितने भी साइबर क्राइम के केसेस हो रहे हैं ना, because the phones have been hacked. Now this is one application known as Flexi Spy. Okay, ये अगर किसी के फोन के अंदर डाल देंगे, if this Flexi Spy is installed into anybody's phone ना, it will completely be hidden. It will run in the background. ये फोन के बैकग्राउंड में रन होगा, पीछे बैकएंड में. It will not be visible on the screen. It will keep on running in the background. And once installed inside the phone, please look at what all data can be taken out. People can listen to a phone call recording. They can see an environment recording. Environment recording मतलब क्या? फोन की आजू बाजू की बातें. Then they can see your Facebook messages. They can see your email. They can see your Gmail. They can see your application activity. They can see your address book, and they can even read your SMS messages. अभी SMS messages मतलब क्या? Including OTP of the bank, right? And then they can see your location tracking, your geofencing, browser activity, installed application, keylogger, photo, video, audio files, calendar. Everything is going to be visible over here. Hardly कुछ बचेगा. Now questions that you will ask me, okay sir, is this application already been used by the hackers? Very sorry to inform you, this application is also used by criminals, and also, I mean, this application is very popular among, very sorry to inform you in this way, among the divorce lawyers these days. Okay, so husband has got it out on wife, wife has got it out on husband. So the general trend is wife will go to the best friend or a good friend, or will go to a lawyer, and then they will say that she has got it out. Or husband might go to a good friend or a lawyer. Some of the lawyers these days, what they suggest here is, before your anniversary, when the time your anniversary comes or your husband's birthday is going to come, gift him a phone. Okay, before the phone is gifted, basically install this kind of an application, give it to the husband. As soon as the husband begins to use the application, the job is done. Okay, I have also seen parents using this application in their children's phone. We have also seen business partners putting in another partner's phone, director putting in another director's phone, bosses putting into their employees' phones also. Nowadays, this application is also used at the time of marriages. So daughter is about to get married, okay, and has, like the daughter's family would like to know good information about the the boy's side or the boy. So now the trend is first gift, first wedding gift, as a part of engagement gift or whatever you call it, the first gift that the families are now giving to the other family is nothing but a phone itself. And before the phone is gifted, they are installing this kind of an application, giving it to the other party. And once the other boy or the girl begins to use the phone, I hope all of you can understand, all this data will be taken out. I hope you're clear over that. You know, like, so I would request, what do we learn from this is very, very simple. We need to control our emotions and we have to ensure one thing. मेरा सेशन को और कुछ याद रहे ना रहे, इतना याद रखना. If anybody gives you a phone, and if you really want to protect your data, you should not be accepting phone as a way of a gift. I hope you got my point. Clear, everybody? And this is one of the major reasons. Majority of the divorces which are happening is because of this. Majority of the divorces which are getting solved or not happening also is because of this. Majority of the cases which are getting solved is also because of this. I hope, I mean, like, you know. Okay, okay, legally, I don't know. Question asked here is legally. मेरे को बताओ, is this legal or not legal? अगर किसी ने ऐसा एप्लीकेशन डाल दिया किसी के फोन के अंदर और डेटा बाहर बता रहा है, all of you coming from the law side of it, please tell me, is it legal or illegal?
It is absolutely illegal.
I hope all of you got the point right. Yes, but unfortunately, I would also like to inform you that there are many companies which are using this on the pretext that if the phone is given by the company to the employee, okay, and they sign this consent agreement, you know, this joining agreement where they say that any device which is given by the company or by the office to their employees, they have a right to monitor all the evidence, all the activities happening on that particular device, basically. So there is a like a legal twist to it, basically, where the device belongs to the company and you have taken the consent from the employee, and that is how you get to see their data also. But
I apologize, sir. Can I interrupt you?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir, I have already asked the question. Definitely, that parents or the wife and husband can use this software while gifting the food. But how we can assess that if we are purchasing a new mobile from the seller, authorized seller is selling that mobile, whether how we can understand that the software is not in that sale?
Acha, basically, sir, now we want to know if you get any phone, if you buy any new phone or if you get any phone, whether that phone is having this any kind of spy applications or not, right? Everybody. Okay, I'll answer this way. See, now that is a very good, that is the question that I was waiting for. Now, see, since we're using the phone for a lot of our financial and official purposes, now it is a good time that we need, there are two ways to detect this, okay, two ways. One is the automatic way, second is the manual way. Automatic matlab kya? I would request all of you, if you're using your phone for financial purposes, matlab mobile banking app bhi dal ke rakha hai aur email accounts be official business purpose as well as financial purpose, then we need to have a good antivirus within our phone. So any antivirus, okay, I mean, and I want a good antivirus within the phone itself. So it could be like a quick kill ka antivirus aata hai mobile ke liye, okay, or there is one more app, antivirus known as Lookout, or you can use this software Kaspersky, you must have heard about it, right? So my request here is please download a good antivirus inside your phone, okay, and scan your phone. Basically, आप आपके phone को पूरा scan मारो. This antivirus itself will scan your phone and will then tell you whether your phone is having any kind of a, you know, any spy application or not. So what they do is they scan the phone and then they tell you that as per them this is a spy application. ठीक है? उन लोग detect करके बताते हैं. Now once you see, अरे this is an application, and you know that you have never installed this application or you have never used this and it is not even visible on the dashboard, that means it's a short sign that yes, somebody has, you know, installed such a spy application inside the phone. And I would also like to inform all of you, based on my experience, Okay, I'm very sorry to inform you. After the damage is done, जब कोई लुटा या बर्बाद हो जाता है, उसके बाद ही cases आते हैं. I mean, people come to me after they realize, because people are still not able to understand that people can see your WhatsApp messages, they can hear your call conversations, your location can be tracked. It is only after the damage is done, business has gone down, or the evidence has come out, then they realize that their phone was hacked. So of course, after you run the antivirus, after that, if you do not want to keep the antivirus, you can remove the antivirus. Again, after 15-20 days or 1 month, run the antivirus again. Okay. Now, another important thing which I want to inform, this is an automatic way. Manual method is the best method, but manual matlab thoda technical. Again, it will take a little bit of amount of time, but this is a good and a foolproof method to detect. You will have to go again into settings. मैं इसका आपको PPTs बनाया है, I'll share it with you. Again, you will have to go into settings. You have to again look for app permissions. Okay, here manually we'll have to check how many apps have taken what kind of permissions. So if you suddenly find one app which has taken permission to your majority of your data, like उसने आपका लोकेशन भी देख के रखा है, कॉल्स भी देख रहा है, रिकॉर्डिंग का भी देख रहा है, कैमरा, स्टोरेज भी है, everything like this. Too many permissions taken by one application, then we need to understand एक ही एप्लीकेशन को इतनी सारी परमिशन की क्या रिक्वायरमेंट है, right? And that is where we have to figure it out, whether that application is really a useful application or not, and whether that application is installed by you or not, basically. So these are the two ways. One, run an antivirus, or second best way is run an app, basically. I mean, manually check for the permissions. Basically, if I share you my PPT, I mean the picture, because I'm not able to put my phone on the computer right now. If I can try that also, then I think it will be very much easy, basically. Yes, phone brand does make a difference. Okay, iPhone is always more secure than Android as of now. As of now, trust me, it is still very, very difficult to hack into an iPhone as compared to Android. Okay, आपने iPhone खरीदा, majority of your security is done. But ऐसा नहीं है, it is not that कि iPhone cannot be hacked. Okay, even iPhone can be hacked. One of the best examples that we give is Jeff Bezos, richest person on earth, Amazon का owner. जब उसका iPhone hack हुआ था, and that iPhone, his iPhone was hacked by none other than the Saudi prince himself. It is rumored that way. Once his iPhone got hacked, they got access to some of the photos or pictures which were not supposed to be seen. Those photos or pictures were then shared with his wife. Once the wife came to know, as a result of which the divorce happened between the both of them. Okay, and as a part of divorce settlement, Jeff Bezos had to pay so much amount of money that divorce settlement made the wife the 5th richest woman on the planet. Can you imagine that? All this happened just because one iPhone got hacked, basically. Okay, so yes, this point is clear. I will also answer Vilas sir's question. Okay, ID and password provided by education and should have some access to our device. What kind of access do they have? मतलब आपके कॉलेज ने आपको एक ईमेल आईडी और वो पासवर्ड देके रखा है, ठीक है, and you are using that email ID and that password on your phone, maybe just maybe on your phone. So whether that email ID will have access to any of your phone data also or not, well, the only way to check that is to go inside your phone and look for the app permissions again, और फिर वो देखो कि वो application ने क्या permission लेके रखा है, basically. And that much of data will be shared by that email account to your server, basically. Okay, I hope it is clear, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and now what I'm going to share you, ये तो information पक्का, I would request all of you, please pass it on to everybody of your colleagues. जो आप mass forward करते हो ना, basically, जो भी फॉरवर्ड हो रहे हैं. ओके, अभी ये पिछले 3-4 दिनों में हमने एक ट्रेंड देखा है. Okay, I've seen this very recent trend in the last 5 days. I'm supposed to make a video on this and circulate it as a part of awareness session also. I think all of you, if you look into my, this is, मैंने देखो बाजू में web WhatsApp खोल के रखा है. Okay. Now I go into some of the messages which I have received. Majority of you must have received also. Please tell me if you have received these messages or not. Okay. Can you see this? ये वाला मैसेज, there is a part time job, you can use your mobile phone to operate. I would request all of you, ये एक लिंक का मैसेज जो आ रहा है ना, ऊपर देखिए नंबर क्या है, +254. दिस इज नॉट एन इंडियन नंबर, बट ये लिंक चेक करना, API WAM API समथिंग लाइक दिस. आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट. ओके, आई विल शो यू वन मोर. देखो यही सेम मैसेज है, there is a part time job, same link, similar link except for the end. Oh, look at the number, +503. Getting? Again, look at this. Part-time job, +256. Again, the same link. My request is, if you click on the link, okay, I'm not going to click on the entire link. This is technically a way to ensure that whatever is there in the link will not get executed, but you can understand which country is trying to do this. Okay, we are not very quite sure, but we have also seen numbers coming from +92, +256, +503, and everywhere like this. So you can see this also, +52, +92, and yes, sir. My request is, please educate everybody in your family not to fall for this, and please learn to check the numbers at the very top. Okay, this is a very recent cyber crimes which have been happening over here. ये देखो इंडियन नंबर से आता था पहले. Okay, अब इन्होंने फॉरेन नंबर से भेजना शुरू कर दिया सारा. माय रिक्वेस्ट इज, हमारे जैसे मेरे जैसे लोगों को भी कितने मैसेजेस आ रहे हैं ऐसे. अगर मैं ये लिंक पे कॉपी करूंगा, एटलीस्ट पीपल लाइक मी और आल्सो रिसीव्ड लाइक सो मेनी मैसेजेस. दिस इज मास मेल्स, सबको भेज देते हैं इन लोग. एंड वंस यू क्लिक ऑन द लिंक, यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड, you will be very very surprised. COVID में India have lost more than 1100 crores. 1100 crores. This is a cybercrime fraud which was investigated. Okay, 1100 crores just because सब लोगों ने ऑनलाइन वो सब शुरू कर दिया था. क्या बोलते हैं, वेबसाइट्स के ऊपर जाके गैम्बलिंग, lotteries and everything like that, and all these were fake websites where people have lost money. Okay, so again my same thing here is, don't fall for any of these freebies. Ghar baithe baithe income, and you can understand the mentality that through which people are using to send this kind of mass messages. And from a police cybercrime point of view, to trace messages which are coming from outside India, it is a tough job basically. But by the time they act, you can understand, आज public के पास इतना, मतलब they are so free that they would fall for all this kind of a thing. You can see this. Yesterday itself I received 2 messages. Okay, basically, right? I think all of you are aware. So please educate this to all of the people also, not to ensure that they fall for such kind of links. I mean, I'm requesting all of you, people will listen to you, people will consider you seriously. So if you can spread a message also among your contacts, it's a good thing that you will be preventing quite a few people from falling victims to all this particular thing. Clear? Okay, now some recent cyber crimes which have been happening. I'm giving you, all of you, 1 minute of time. Okay, please look into this. These are fake websites, but this is a small test to all of you. छोटा सा टेस्ट है आप सब लोगों का. How will you identify these are fake websites? I'm giving you 1 minute of time. How will
They
you?
are not started. They are not. Hello, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. अच्छा, ये
They are not started with HTTP.
नहीं, अब वो चलेगा सर. HTTPS से समझ लीजिए, www, और ये डॉट इन डॉट ब्रैकेट में, उसको भी इग्नोर कीजिए. बेसिकली उसको भी इग्नोर करके अब बताइए, हाउ विल यू नो that these are fake websites?
हेलो
Yes, sir.
सर, जो वेबसाइट रहती है उसमें www से स्टार्ट होता है और लास्ट में जो .com रहता है वो ब्रैकेट में नहीं रहता है डॉट.
हाँ, तो सर
हाँ.
तो अज्यूम करो सर ये सब www से शुरू कर रहे हैं और वो ब्रैकेट में डॉट नहीं है, मतलब वो ब्रैकेट नहीं है, फिर कैसे? आप राइट हो सर, आपको थोड़ा और एक कदम आगे बढ़ना है बस. अज्यूम कीजिए कि सारी वेबसाइट में www डॉट है, देखो ऐसा है और ये ब्रैकेट भी नहीं है, फिर कैसे आइडेंटिफाई करेंगे कि ये फेक है?
Sir, .com it stands for like
हाँ
commercial, and .org, that is an organization. So
हाँ.
is it the answer like .gov? These are all the reliable websites. That is a domain name. Top level and second level domain names are there. So I think that this could be one of the reason.
Yes. हाँ सर, all of you are right. I would request please look at the URL. देखिए कुछ भी होगा www डॉट जो भी होगा, बट URL भी चेक करना सीखिए अभी आप, मतलब URL सभी लोग .xyz .tk .digital .space .xyz .epp. These are fake. I mean, these are not normal URLs, right? Not normal domains. Not normal domain क्या होता है? .com, ठीक है ना? .com. These are. But my request to all of you is, if you find any websites, any email accounts, any emails coming to you from this weird extensions like xyz .tk .space .digital, ignore कर देना. Learn to ignore this. Okay, I hope this is clear. Learn to ignore all these particular things. See, I'll share this PPT, but this is what I wanted to inform you. This is one of the small ways through which you can, prevent yourself from getting hacked or becoming a victim. These are the recent trends. अगर आप देखोगे इसमें सारे कोविड के रिलेटेड ही वेबसाइट्स बनाए गए. All these are playing on the mentality. All these are playing on the psychology of the recent things. Coronavirus healthcare, coronavirus aware, coronavirus, basically. है ना? Yes, you are right. Devilal sir, yes, you are right. ये भी तो ऐसे भी लगता है, मतलब now they are making it, very difficult, basically. See, I would also like to throw some light. When I talked about this flexi spy over here, ये जो मैंने बात की थी, okay, you can see this. I'll just show you everybody. Read this. Man loses 1.5 lakh after clicking. अब मैं आपको एक छोटा सा केस स्टडी बताता हूँ. Just read the heading, everybody. Okay, I'll now come down. I would request, it's a 30 seconds to 1 minute read. This is a 1 minute read. Please read this. Okay. Now see this. A person received a link on his SMS. He clicked on the link. उसको क्या लगा कि it is a income tax का refund application, right? He clicked on it. As soon as he clicked on it, okay, he got mobile application. He got automatically downloaded. He got it out. He deleted the message as well as that application. But I hope all of you remember, Flexi Spy जो है वो backend में run होना शुरू हो जाता है. It runs in the background, and as a result of which, the very next day, okay, whatever amount was there from his bank was withdrawn. अब आप लोग बोलोगे सर, if you do mobile banking, then you should get an OTP. Am I right? The person received the OTP also, but I hope all of you understand. Since his phone was hacked, OTP was coming on the same phone which was already hacked. So even the hacker was coming to know what was the OTP. I hope this is clear, everybody. Okay, this fraud is clear, everyone. How did this fraud occur? Because I'm very sorry, similar frauds have occurred everywhere. Okay, ये देखो अगस्त ये रहा, Kamote man loses 1.5 lakh in card. ये तो मैंने 1.5 lakh ही डाला था in card fraud. Man lost 1.5 lakhs in one click by UPI. ठीक है, man lost online fraud because of biryani, right? Man seeks 1.5 lakh refund from e-commerce website. उसने एक ब्लूटूथ के हेडफोन को रिफंड वापस देने के बदले उसका 5.47 लाख रुपीस चला गया in order to cancel this, in the process to cancel the order. Senior citizen loses 1.5 lakh. Man loses over 3 lakh by clicking over the link. I hope ये सब clear हो रहा है. And all these links ना are similar to this kind of links which I have showed you right now. थोड़ा cautiousness की जरूरत है अभी, थोड़ा नहीं ज़्यादा, because I would just like to tell you everybody that 20 years back if somebody wanted to rob a bank, 20 साल पहले अगर एक बैंक लूटना था ना तो गाड़ी लेके आओ, वॉचमैन को पैसा खिलाओ, बंदूक रेडी रखो, तब जाके एक ब्रांच हाथ में आता था. You know, at the most we only used to get access to one of the branch 20 years back if you wanted to rob a bank. But today what we have to do, sit in an AC room, do something on the computer, send so many links, and if people fall for it, you can imagine how much money they are going to make without personally going to the bank also. Okay, I hope this was clear, everyone. Now I would like to share this small PPT again. See, mails are now coming in the name of like this, you know, WHO. WHO is sending you a mail about safety measures of coronavirus. Tell me, is this mail fake or like genuine or fake?
Genuine, it's a genuine. It starts with HTTPS and that S it stands for secure. If I'm not.
ये लिंक को इग्नोर करो सर, ये लिंक को इग्नोर करो, खाली ये वाले पे फोकस करो, ये वाले फोटो पे, फोटो वाला सही है कि नहीं है, ये वाला लिंक तो उन्होंने अलग दिया है, फोटो वाला मेल सही है कि क्या है? So yes, all of you guessed it right. Okay, ये fake है. Fake क्यों है? Reason is also been justified. Why would WHO send mails to individuals? It's like, you know, I think all of you, I'm just taking you 10 years back, 10 or 10 साल पहले, in the year 2007, 8 and 9, if you had an email ID, अगर आपके पास email ID होता था, all of you must have won a lottery. आप लोग सब लोगों ने लॉटरी जीता ही जीता था in the year 2007 and 8 on your email account. sir, email में आपने लॉटरी जीता ही होगा. All of you must have received the lottery mails. तो भी छोटा मोटा लॉटरी नहीं जीता होगा, करोड़ों डॉलर्स पाउंड्स में जीता होगा. Yes or no, everyone? It's like RBI आपको लॉटरी जिता रहा है, कोको कोला का लॉटरी जीता था, सैमसंग का लॉटरी आया था, सबने मिला होगा. Similarly, look at this trend. Why would WHO send a mail to every individual? क्या WHO के पास इतना bandwidth, इतने email accounts, इतना time है that he will send mails to every individual? No. So what they did was all this, they gave a safety advisory link. WHO ने एक safety advisory link that we follow, that we are not sending any such kind of mails. और एक mail देखिए कैसा आता है.
It is like Jamtara series.
हाँ, yes sir. Okay, it's exactly like that. Second, ये देखो और एक मेल है, Center for Disease Control and Prevention. इस पे भी लिंक दी है. इस लिंक के ऊपर भी if you tick on it, and then again I hope all of you understand, all of your data would be gone like that. Okay. See, one very important thing also which I would like to tell is something about Zoom advisory also. Nowadays, in every 2 or 3 days, I get a call from a school or from a college saying that when they are taking online classes, somebody is coming into their Zoom and then they are trying to create, you know, कोई fake ID के through आ जाता है, बाद में screen share कर देता है, Zoom bombing करता है, vulgar message भेजता है. How do we trace them? Or how do we ensure they do not come? Whatever it is. So these are the safety settings that we need to do in Zoom. If your children are attending any online classes using Zoom, then we need to ensure that these are the safety, these are the security settings which have been done. Okay. Second, these are general safety tips, be aware of online requests, check your email account, watch for the spelling or grammatical mistakes, look for generate settings. These are sample mails which I have given. Okay. Now, these are few of the websites. Okay. This is known as, see, nowadays, people are trying to create a lot of chaos. And since people are more free, अगर उनको कोई भी मैसेज आता है हम लोग फॉरवर्ड कर देते हैं without verifying whether that WhatsApp message is actually genuine or not. Sorry. So ये देखिए, these are fake links. I mean, these are websites which will allow you to identify whether any news which is coming up on social media is genuine or fake. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll go to these websites. ये देखिए, you can see this. So all these are fake ones. Okay. You can see this. So these are few of the websites. So my request here is, if you get any video which has been posted online, okay, and if you feel, if you need to find out whether that video is genuine or fake or not, you can visit basically over here itself, and then you can identify any of this is fake or not. Okay, I hope you're clear over that. I'll share this so you'll get a good idea. And my request to all of you is, anybody who is posting such videos, and if you find out it's a fake video, my request is, please go ahead and inform him not to spread such kind of fake news, because now the laws are getting more strict. Police is becoming more vigilant, and they are there. If anybody files a complaint, trust me, in good cities, police is taking action against them. Okay. So this is one of the ways to control the chaos and disharmony which is happening because of the social media also. And if you want on Zoom, there is a Zoom advisory which is given out by the Ministry of Home Affairs also. I'll share that PDF also with all of you. This is generally the web conference links. Okay, like what we need to do when we are using any of the online classes these days. These are the fake news. These are some do's and don'ts. Okay, work from home, that what cares we need to take when we are actually working from home. Okay, how much of the internet we need to use and safeguard. Now, I'm going to show all of you a very wonderful software, okay, to have a little bit of fun in your home today. I mean, the name of the software is NetCut. I think all of you can see this on my computer screen. Okay. Basically, all of you must be, having all of you would like to do some mischief or would have some grudge against one of your family members, किसी ना किसी को थोड़ा मस्ती होता ही है किसी family member के साथ. So what we can, I'm just going to show you a very good software that will allow you to do a little bit of mischief in your home, basically along with the cyber security also. So ये जो मैं software run कर रहा हूँ इसका नाम है NetCut. Okay, basically it's a free software, as you can see मैंने आपके सामने install किया था. Basically, what NetCut does is that NetCut क्या करता है? Suppose if you run NetCut today in your home, तो NetCut क्या करेगा? आपके वाईफाई में जितने भी लोग कनेक्टेड होंगे ना, उन सबका डिटेल निकाल के देगा. Example, you can see Galaxy Note 9. This is my wife's mobile. This is computer. I mean, again, it is going to get refreshed. Okay, so I'll just refresh this thing again. Okay, so once it begins to scan, you can see this, my computer, network gateway over here itself. Okay, my phone, which is my Android phone, Galaxy Note 9 is my wife phone. तो आज जब आप ये NetCut रन करोगे ना, तो आपको क्या दिखेगा पता है? आपका मोबाइल, आपका लैपटॉप, वाइफ का मोबाइल, बच्चे लोग का मोबाइल, कंप्यूटर और वो सब. Now suppose you want to have a little bit of fun with your wife, तो आप क्या कर सकते हो? वाइफ की मोबाइल को ऐसे सिलेक्ट कर सकते हो, ये रहा, और वाईफाई के आइकन के ऊपर बटन दबाओगे ना, तो पूरे घर पे फर्स्ट क्लास वाईफाई चलेगा एक्सेप्ट ऑन द वाइफ्स मोबाइल. मतलब उनके मोबाइल के ऊपर आइकन भी दिखेगा कि वाईफाई कनेक्टेड है, ठीक है, लेकिन ना ही एक व्हाट्सएप का मैसेज आएगा, ना ही एक पेज रिफ्रेश होगा. एंड यू कैन डू दिस विद एनी ऑफ योर फैमिली मेंबर्स आल्सो. स्मॉल डिस्क्लेमर, okay, a small warning, you play with your partner's phone only after the lunch or dinner is over, not before that. Okay, just on the you must add up it. But why did I inform you about netcut? Very simple. Netcut, you should be aware that आपके घर पे कितने device connect होते हैं on your Wi-Fi, right? You should be aware in the sense, you know how many electronic devices you have in your home, right? You have 2 or 3 mobiles, 4 mobiles, 1 or 2 computers. तो कितने device connect हो, कितने device दिखने चाहिए? 6 और 7, clear? But अगर 7 से ज़्यादा दिख गए, मतलब क्या? It means what? Suppose if you have got 6 electronic devices and netcut shows you, including your router, more than 8, then it indicates what? Anybody?
Someone other is using your Wi-Fi.
Perfectly right. Somebody else is already connected to your Wi-Fi and using it for free. तो आप लोग क्या कर सकते हो? Immediately
Yes.
उसको disconnect करो and then change the Wi-Fi password without fail. ठीक है? Immediately disconnect और आपको पता नहीं चलता है कि किसका हम लोग डिस्कनेक्ट कर रहे हैं, तो कोई टेंशन लेने की जरूरत नहीं है. सिलेक्ट 1 by 1, पहले वाले को सिलेक्ट करो, डिस्कनेक्ट करो, ऑटोमेटिक कोई घर से चिल्लाएगा मेरा वाईफाई बंद हो गया, मतलब समझ जाने का वो उसका था. अगेन स्टार्ट इट अप, मतलब फिर से वाईफाई पे बटन पे आइकन दिखाओगे तो उनका वाईफाई शुरू हो जाएगा. Like that you can go in a sequential manner.
Sir, sorry for interrupt you.
Yes sir.
लेकिन राउटर से अगर कोई अपने वाईफाई यूज करते हैं अपन और राउटर से कोई अपना पूरा डेटा सिंक कर रहा है तो हाउ वी कैन फाइंड इट?
नहीं वही सर, राउटर के थ्रू भी देखो सर, वाईफाई होगा ना तो वाईफाई के मतलब राउटर के थ्रू ही हमको वाईफाई मिल रहा है, ठीक है? तो
Yes.
एनीबॉडी हु इज एक्सेसिंग योर राउटर आल्सो ना विल बी ए पार्ट ऑफ योर वाईफाई बेसिकली. तो इस सॉफ्टवेयर के थ्रू हमको आइडिया आ जाता है कि इफ एनीबॉडी इज सीइंग आवर डेटा थ्रू राउटर और नॉट बेसिकली.
Okay sir, thank you.
हाँ, आई होप ये क्लियर है एवरीवन. हाँ, ये सॉफ्टवेयर इज सेफ टू यूज. ये सॉफ्टवेयर को खाली पीरियडिकली रन करना है, ऐसे नहीं कि रन करके ही रखना है. एक बार हम लोग को पता चल गया कि कितने लोग कनेक्टेड है नहीं है, देन दिस इज नॉट इवन इंस्टॉलिंग, वी जस्ट हैव टू क्लोज इट, अपना काम हो गया, दैट्स इट. Okay, I think we are almost short of time now. So, yeah, see, this is my name, Sachind Dedhiya. This is my email ID and this is my mobile number. Okay, my name, my email ID and my mobile number. In the future also, if anybody wants to have any kind of seminar sessions, or if you want any, if you have any doubts, questions, you can contact me. Yes, and now I think we have to start for the question answer session. Sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Indeed, it was a great session, and it was a sheer pleasure, our pleasure to have you here. Now, I request our professor coordinator, Dinesh Kolte, sir, to please take over for the question and answer session so that all queries of the students can be answered by sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kaushal. Sir, am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir.
Sachin, sir.
Yes,
there
sir.
is one question. If we made our Wi-Fi password secure, how can unknown use it?
See, there are certain softwares through which even if the password is secure, okay, somebody can still access the Wi-Fi. Maybe because through some softwares, or maybe our Wi-Fi security or the password is not that strong, so Wi-Fi का access मिल सकता है. But just in case, how do we know how many users are still using it? And it is the software which I showed using netcut.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Another question is there. This question was asked by Dr. Manila from UP. I hope. Sir, can we file case against the cricketers or stars generally doing ads for such online games, make money, etc.? This question was asked by Advocate Vivek Aushal from Akola.
Actually, kind of like no, sir, because they're just promoting an online website or an ad. Like it is amounting to gambling, but I think legally, now what these websites have done, since these websites are actually allowed to run, like Dream 11 का एक case हुआ था in the court. Okay, whether Dream 11 is like an online gambling or it is a calculated risk, basically. So on technical terms, these websites are now allowed, and that is the reason these celebrities are now endorsing all this kind of, uh, uh, how do I put it, gambling related websites also, sir. So legally or technically, I think they have made it they are very sure that even if we file a case, we will not be able to do much against it.
Thank you, sir. Sir, there is a question from Dr. Pritha. If we delete app from phone, then is it possible to access our data?
No. If we delete the app from the phone, then majority of the access is gone.
Another question is there for Dr. Mansi Trivedi. So does the brand or software of the phone makes a difference? For example, as guaranteed by iPhone with regard their privacy on iPhone.
Yes, sir. It makes a difference. It makes a difference. As I said, iPhone is always more secure than Android.
Another question is there from Sagar, Advocate Sagar Tatne. How to ensure that this FlexiSpy app was installed in my device?
As I said, sir, that in order to find out if the FlexiSpy is installed or not, we just need to scan our phone using an antivirus or the manual method. But generally, scanning the phone with an antivirus also will give us good information, sir. Just as I said, to look out, to click in or something like that.
Thank you, sir. Sir, another question is there from Dr. Gajanan Mekarkar from Dhule. How to verify that when we purchase new mobile, it is not having this software?
Sorry.
How?
Sorry, sir.
How to verify that when we purchase new mobile, it is not having this software?
So same thing. When we purchase any new mobile, again we have to scan the phone using a good antivirus. Then again the same thing will come to know.
Another question is there from Devlal Sundarsha. Using controlism of privacy security layer in virtual identity representation of cyber world. Okay, here is the question. One minute, sir. Another question, sir. Sir, there is a question from Shailendra Parase. How to identify the fake apps while installing in mobile?
Fake apps, when there are many applications which are coming through which they want to access to our data. So when we buy a new phone, sir, my request to all of you is please see, especially when you're buying some MI kind of phones, MI or Honor K phones, they come with pre-installed many applications which are now been asked by the government of India itself that you should not be using that application. जैसे वो कोई browser है, UC browser, there are certain cam scanner applications, like that. So there is a list which was given out by the government. I'll share that list also with you. And after that, once we get the phone in hand, we just have to ensure that whether that applications are still there inside there or not.
Thank you, sir.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry to interrupt you, sir, but I am also using my phone and they have their installed applications, but you can't uninstall it, these apps. So what to do in that case?
See, ma'am, it now depends how long you have been using this phone. Say like 3 or 6 months?
More than that.
More than. So it is out of warranty also now, right?
Yeah, basically.
It will be now majority, 6 months, 1 year, more or less, it is out of warranty now. So what we do is, we ask you to download, root the phone. There is something called as root. Android ko root karte na hum log, not format, but root. So if you rooting bolte usko, rooting the phone. You can go to any mobile person, so what they do is, and they root the phone, and once the phone is rooted, then you can remove any of these pre-installed applications also.
Okay. Okay. Thanks a lot, sir.
Sir, another question is there. Last question from Dr. Gajanan Dr. Mekarkar, sir. How to verify the cookies, whether that are safe or unsafe? Because if you delete the cookies, then we are unable to visit some web or see some messages.
Sir, Mehka, sir, problem is with cookies now. if we give access to cookies, basically we are giving them access to quite a few of our data that we are going to be using it. Okay, so that is the reason why we always say, sir, we take the cookies, verify it, we install it, let it run. But as soon as our work is done, we have to remove all the cookies, the caches and the cookies, so that they do not keep on tracing us back. They do not keep on seeing all our activities back also, basically. So at the time of seeing it, look into it. But after that, please remove it, sir.
Sir, there is a question from Pratibha Rathod. Sir, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, is Google account safest?
More importantly, sir, Google and this Hotmail account. Yeah, out of all the applications, I mean, this ones, we consider Google and Microsoft accounts to be more secure.
Thank you, sir. I hope sir has answered all the questions. And sir, there is a one question. Do you run some courses regarding they have asked the question?
Yes, actually, we have tied up with quite a few colleges across India to run these courses on cybersecurity as well as on digital forensics. I mean, how to ensure that the evidence is safeguarded and how to present it in the court, and where and how to look for the evidences also, and even the ethical hacking cybersecurity also. So yes, I can share you the details with
Yes,
sir.
yes, sir.
If anybody is interested, they can contact us.
Is there any question? I hope you have answered all the questions.
Thank you so much, sir. On behalf of all the organizers as well as the attendees, I would like to thank Sachind Dedhiya, sir, for taking out time and educating us. And I'm sure that whatever little we would have learned, we surely would try implementing it in our cyber behavior. Now, again, I request our professor coordinator, Dinesh Kolte, sir, to please take over and proceed with the vote of thanks. Thank you so much, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Kaushal. Good afternoon to all present over here. On this occasion, I would like to present the vote of thanks. I would like to thank our today's respected resource person, Dr. Sachind Dedhiya, sir, who honored this session with his thoughts. And on this important topic, he has educated, enlightens, and cautioned us. I hope I express my sincere thanks to him and heartfelt gratitude to him. In spite of his busy schedule, sir has educated us on this important topic. And definitely, I am sure that whatever sir has taught you this, it relates to the everybody, and definitely it will be we will use in future to safeguard our future transactions. Thank you, sir, once again.
Thank you,
I
sir.
extend my thanks to Dr. Aparna Kolkapule for delivering her welcome address. I express my sincere thanks to all the participants, judges, advocates, teachers, various officers, police officer, and students. At the same time, I express my thanks to Kaushal, who anchored this session. Special thanks to Shubham Jaiswal, who handled these technical matters. I also express my thanks to our principal sir, vice principal sir, officers of the District Legal Services Authority, Aurangabad. Once again, I thank all of you, and special thanks to Dr. Sachin Dedhiya sir and Madam Dedhiya. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And thank you all of you for being a very, very wonderful interactive crowd. And thank you, sir, for inviting me once again. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Once again, on behalf of all the organizers, attendees, our honorable principal, sir, I would like to extend a heartfelt thank you to Sachin Dedhiya, sir, for educating us Now, again, I request all the attendees to please proceed for the second session of day 4, which is to be taken over by Mirza Wasif Beg. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. Dinesh, sir, shall I start with the next session?
Please wait for 2 minutes. Let the madam join. Please wait for 2 minutes. Madam is joining. मैडम आप इधर से देखिए हाँ है क्या मैडम one okay yes good afternoon with the permissions of the our speaker of the second session may I start the second session ma'am. Shall we start the second session? I hope she's ready. Yes. Mirja, please, Wasif, please proceed further.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. I, Mirza Wasif Beg, fourth year student of Manikchand Pahade Law College, Aurangabad, Maharashtra, feels immense pleasure to be the part of this national webinar. As we all know that the internet has made our lives advance, it also gave birth to the threat of cyber crimes. In this webinar, our resource persons will help us to understand as many aspects of emerging trends in cyber crimes. Now I request Dr. Anju Singh ma'am to give the welcome address of this session.
Honorable dignitaries, honorable resource person, attendees, I welcome you all for this 4th day, second session webinar on cybercrimes. The topic of today's session is cybercrime against women and children. We are all aware that women and children are one of the most vulnerable group of the society. Since time immemorial, they have been victim of various types of crimes in the physical world. Evolution of internet technology had made them victim with various types of cybercrimes. Few cybercrimes such as cyber stalking, defamation, harassment via email, cyberbullying, cyber pornography, these are the crimes which are committed against them. Various laws have been enacted from time to time. Our Indian Penal Code has various provisions. Apart from this, Information Technology Act is there. There is a special law, POCSO, for the children to protect their rights. But still, the law enforcement machinery are not able to handle various types of cybercrimes committed against them. Unfortunately, the modus operandi of the cybercrime perpetrators are changing, continuously changing, and they are always a step ahead than the law enforcement machinery. Apart from this, there are various hurdles or obstacles, or we can say challenges for the government, such as lack of jurisdictions or visual evidence, or absence of extradition treaty. So these are all posing a great challenge to the government. So to enlighten on this topic, important issues, we have a very renowned resource person, Dr. A. Nagarathna Madam. So on behalf of MP Law College, District Legal Services Authority, Aurangabad, and National Law School of India, University, Bangalore, I heartily welcome Dr. A. Nagarathna Madam, who is Chief Coordinator of NLSIU, Bangalore. I welcome you, ma'am, and we are eager to hear you. I extend my warm welcome to Honorable Judge Shri, Principal Judge, District and Sessions Court, and Chairman of District Legal Services Authority, Aurangabad. I also welcome Secretary of District Legal Services Authority, Honorable Intalkar sir. I welcome all respected members of the District Legal Services Authority. I also extend my welcome to Honorable Dr. C.M. Rao, Principal of MP Law College, respected S.N. More, Vice Principal, IQAC Coordinator, Dr. Aparna Kottapalle Madam. I welcome all the faculties, distinguished guests, invitees, and all the attendees who have joined for this webinar. I congratulate Professor Dinesh Kolte for organizing this webinar, and I thank the organizers for giving me opportunity to give the welcome address. Thank you so much. Over to Vas.
Thank you, ma'am. Our resource person for this session, Dr. A. Nagarathna ma'am, will enlighten us with the topic Cyber Crimes Against Women and Children. Dr. A. Nagarathna ma'am is working as an Associate Professor of Law and Coordinator at Advanced Center on Research, Development and Training in Cyber Laws and Forensics at National Law School of India University, Bangalore. She did her BAL LLB in 1999 and LLM in Commercial Law in 2001 from Bangalore University. Her research work titled Patients' Right Under Consumer Law was published by Karnataka Institute of Law and Parliamentary Affairs in 2009. Honorable Ma'am has written research papers at the international and national seminars, conferences, and workshops, and also she has attended many national seminars as a resource person. Dr. A. Nagarathna Ma'am was a member of Review Committee of Masters in Hospital Administration syllabus at Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences, Karnataka in 2010-2011. He is a member of Panel of Experts of Information Technology Law. Ma'am was a member of LLM program at Karnataka State Open University, Mysore in 2011. Respected Ma'am is also the life member to the South Asian Society of Criminology and Victimology. Also, she is a member of the International Institute of Information Technology Laws, Bangalore. Not only this, but Dr. A. Nagarathna ma'am has countless achievements to her name. We are glad to have you here, ma'am, and we are thankful to you, ma'am, for your auspicious presence. There is one announcement to make for the participants. If you have any queries or questions during the session, please text it in the chat box. Your questions will be answered by the resource person after the session. Now I request Dr. A. Nagarathna ma'am to take over the platform and enlighten us. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Mesa. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
A very good afternoon to all the academicians, organizers, students, and participants. I'll just share the slide and start. Okay, so can you see the slides?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, once again, a very good afternoon. So I'm discussing on an extremely crucial issue. In fact, the entire theme has been very crucial, especially considering the fact that we are using cyber technology as a platform for exchange of thoughts, knowledge, conducting class, indicating the extent of reliance and dependence that we have on this technology. So in general, it's a crucial aspect and we need to understand this from law perspective. So how the law promotes its usage of this technology, and at the same time, the law also tries to curb the abuse of this technology. So within that, this particular issue is quite close to my heart, since it's about protecting extremely vulnerable, category of victims, especially the children on cyberspace. And also over the last few days, so we can see that Indian law is striving a lot towards extending protection of women, both on cyberspace as well as on offline platform. So therefore, both issues. And then let's see in this session how the law as of now addresses, and despite the legal remedies available, what are the practical difficulties and what are the alternative options that we can see in the forthcoming era. So the dependence on the technology, of course, indicates its advantage. At the same time, it indicates the fact that this technology can also be used for criminal activities, which in fact indicates that it can also be abused by perpetrators of crime. So therefore, there is a dark side of this technology which needs to be addressed. So on one hand, especially when it comes to children, it's been a boon because this is where children also can get a lot of information. So through cyber technology, you can collect information. So it's providing a lot of knowledge and all. So therefore, definitely it's a boon for everyone, not just for children. But then, since especially when you compare the previous generation with the current generation, so most of the youngsters are tech savvy, so they're able to in fact handle this technology, related devices more easily compared to the earlier generation people. So it's turned out to be a boon, but at the same time, since there are concerns of safety, security, so some, in fact, even say that this has also turned out to be a curse to youngsters. But then, is that completely the truth? Is what we need to, reflect upon. This technology, of course, can be used to commit a lot of crimes, including frauds in general, or like frauds on a specific category of victims, including women, and then other offences on children. And thus, it makes women and children more vulnerable when it comes to cyberspace, because there are certain forms of offences which target only women, or like which targets children for, again, various reasons. It can be related to the ease with which children's trust can be won. So, and then the ease of access that I get to even contact children. So it's more easier today because almost everyone is using this technology. So when you just take as an example some forms of cyber crimes to understand how this is of specific concern to women or children. So let's take the example of hacking. Hacking in general is a concern for everyone, because hacking is nothing but an unauthorized access into computer system, computer network, computer resource. So basically someone gets into your device without your consent. So it's a concern for everyone, the owner of the device, or it can also be a concern for industries whose servers can, and whose computer system can be prone to cyber attacks, including hacking. But when it comes to children and women, it's more a concern, because when somebody hacks a device, he might come across confidential information, sensitive information related to that women or children. So, and sometimes it can also include the videos, the photographs, etc., of that particular person. And what if these photographs or videos have, say, those contents which are supposed to be, taken care of in terms of confidentiality and privacy, and also today the concern of morphing. So, and then deep fakes is another form of technology, another form of cybercrime where technology is used to create fake contents. So deep fake is a general concern, but then what if it is used to create porn contents, obscene contents, depicting women or children in an unpleasant manner, etc. So that's the concern. So therefore, sometimes what just looks like hacking can later take a form of a serious offense, especially because sometimes hackers are behind data, and hackers can also be behind the data belonging to, say, women or children, and that's the concern. So data stealing is generally a concern, but when it comes to, say, data belonging to women where her security, safety is involved, it's more a concern, and you need to then see that offense in a different from a different perspective. Manipulation of data, again, if it is in form of, say, morphing, etc., creating indecent pictures, etc., or indecent representation of pictures of victims. So that's again something that the law needs to take care of. You also see that there's an increase in the number of cyber crimes in general, and also specifically cyber pornography, cyber obscenity, child pornography. So these kind of offenses are also increasing day by day. So this is also indicated through reports like NCRB, where recently NCRB has come with its own report indicating the data, like, from the number of cases registered across the country, number of cases that have led to investigation, that have led to trial, led to arrest. So all these are also being shown to have been increased. At the same time, a lot of reports, media reports, or like the reports quoting the informations being given by the law enforcement agencies also shows that during COVID, there's been an increase in the number of these kind of offenses. So, and that's the concern. Now, when it comes to children, there are other concerns, as I just mentioned sometime back. It's easier to gain the trust of a child. So it's easier to, like, online groom a child. It's easier to get access to a child, because today almost every child is using this technology, especially because of this COVID. We've all moved to online classes and all. So almost every child is using the digital technology. So, and then when it comes to their safety, security, since their confidence can be easily won over, so many times it's also been misused by fraudsters, and it leads to many other crimes. Am I audible? Are there any concerns?
No, no, madam, there is no. You are
I
audible.
heard some sounds. Okay, thank you, sir. So, and then especially when it comes to say social media, so this goes unchecked. So anyone can post anything there. So, and then this is again where we see a lot of children, taking memberships, though you have limitations of like 13 years being prescribed to get into social media. But many times we do know that there are children who have taken the accounts, and 13 to 18 years category of children can in fact officially have their accounts. Sometimes children personal information is shared by their relatives. So all these can also be misused if law doesn't take care of this concern. Coming to certain platforms like WhatsApp platform, etc., where there is end-to-end encrypted conversation that takes place. So many times this is also misused to circulate, to transmit, to publish, to otherwise distribute illegal contents, including obscene contents, including child porn materials, etc. So a lot of such cases have come to light, have led to investigations, etc. So, of course, law is there, and it starts with Indian Penal Code, Indian Substantive Criminal Law, and then extends to, as was mentioned in the introductory remarks, it also extends to POCSO, Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act. Between the two, we also have Information Technology Act, which is considered as the Indian cyber law. So law is there, of course, but then there are various forms of crimes that needs to be addressed. And some are not at all addressed. Some are not at all, something that can come under the current Indian law framework, and that's the concern. For example, let's take the illustration of sextortion. So where somebody extorts money, putting the victim in fear of leaking certain conversation or information shared earlier by the victim, or maybe it can also be the one that are captured without the consent of the victim. And I threaten the victim, unless you pay money, I would publish it online. So this is also increasing. And in this case, most often the offender is known to the victim. So it can be like, maybe it was it's a case between people who were in the relationship earlier, a couple who were in the relationship earlier, they break, and then since they would have shared a lot of personal information, including photographs, etc. So this can also lead to extortion. Now, to address this, you have no provision in the law. So you have to just treat it like a normal case of pornography. And if child is involved, of course, it can come under child pornography and other provisions related to POCSO. But if the victim is not a child, it's very hard to bring it under specific provision. It can somehow be brought under the provisions of sexual harassment, intimidation and all. But for exact extortion, you don't have a provision, because extortion under IPC is even now seen as an offense against property. It is not seen as an offense against decency or morality. It is not seen like an offense similar to obscenity. So, however, our approach should have been like considering this as an aggravated form of cyber pornography or obscenity, or at least have an independent provision to address this, but you don't have a provision. So extorting money by putting the victim in this kind of a threat of fear is not specifically addressed under our law. So that's one concern. So then coming to revenge pornography. So maybe the women had willfully or voluntarily shared her personal photographs with the man, but then maybe they break up, and as a revenge, the boy starts uploading it or publishing it on social media. So here there's another limitation in the law. You do have provisions that addresses, again, pornography in general, obscenity in general, but for revenge pornography, so the specific motive of the accused doesn't get noticed by the law. So for that revengeful publication, so there's no specific provision. So maximum is you can make it out as an offense of publishing without consent. So for that revenge element, law again doesn't take care of it. So you don't have a specific provision to address this. There's another challenge that might deter the victim from approaching lawful authority. What if the woman had herself sent these materials earlier to the man? So sending those material, per se, if you read statutory provision, is an offense, because provision says publication or transmission of porn material, and if the woman had herself sent it to the man, so it will be treated as a case of, say, self-victimization, where women will also be seen as a perpetrator. So this, in fact, is a demotivating factor, and that's the reason why victim may not want to file a case. However, the matter goes to the court. In fact, the court should apply the mischief rule, and they should only punish the accused, the man, but not the women. But then, till then, you're uncertain how the law will look into this issue when it comes to women who would have sent this earlier voluntarily. So that's the concern. And in most of the cases, again, it's children who are the victims. So school children are involved in these kind of acts. College children are involved in this kind of act. So you need to do it, say it more sensitively, which again, as of now, is not specifically addressed through legal provisions. Otherwise, we do have provisions. We'll go through the provisions little later, one after the other. But then if you can look at the slide, so you do have a list of provisions which directly applies in an online scenario and which can, with an extended interpretation, they are related to, say, conventional crime, but with extended interpretation, they can also be extended to cyberspace. For example, 67, 67A, 66E of the Information Technology Act are meant to apply on an online scenario. But when it comes to 500 provision relating to defamation, so you need to extend it to cyberspace by giving extended interpretation to the existing provision of IPC. In addition to this, 504, 506, 509, these are again conventional provisions relating to criminal intimidation. So this can also be extended to online scenario. Similarly, one may also think of provisions relating to pornography, obscenity, but there is a hint there. What is that hint? I'll explain it later. So otherwise, we also have post Nirbhaya incident. We've also added a lot of provisions to IPC to specifically protect women against sexual offences, including online sexual offences. So therefore, we've added provisions like 354A, 354B, C. So a lot of other provisions have been added. But despite all this, the issue of women being victimized, children being victimized, is a real concern, and a lot of incidences get reported. So, and then there are many. I've just given one example on this particular slide where 11th class student committed suicide because her personal photographs were leaked by her boyfriend. And this unfortunate incident happened in Bengal. Similar incident few years back had happened in Mangalore, and that girl committed suicide, leaving a suicide note in which she said, "Please ban Facebook." Again, an indication of how social media can sometimes be misused against the women or children. In addition to all these sexual offences, there are other concerns like how video games can be the tool through which children can be targeted. Especially this raises concerns of safety of children because when they're downloading these video games related apps, it can again raise concerns of, say, hacking, or like it can lead to, say, downloading of cookies with which your personal data can get compromised. Privacy can get compromised. Sometimes they may even have malwares, that is virus attached to it. So you do not know, like, what you're downloading when you're downloading this video game. Sometimes when children especially are playing and they keep on going from one level of game to another level, which requires them to download another version of game or an updated version of game, it will have its own financial repercussions. So maybe it is a charge to downloading that they agree to, and children do not understand this. So we come across cases where they would have this would have led to financial loss of parents. So this is also another concern. Since child anyways is not legally eligible to get into a contract, it's not a legally valid transaction. But when children are playing games, so there are many other issues that gets affected, including their safety, security, the financial aspects, etc. Angry Birds, in fact, had raised the concerns of being also affected with malwares, and in some states in US it was banned. So these kind of games have always raised concern. Similarly, if you take the example of Momo Challenge, so in India, in fact, this had become a major concern, and the Minister of Electronics and IT came with an advisory in 2018 asking parents to be alert, and then teachers to be alert, especially to see if children are inflicting any injuries on them. If so, to monitor their internet usage, etc. So they did come with advisory. But over here, imposing the legal liability becomes a very difficult issue because you do not know, who would have sent this to which child, and even if you know from which number it has come, investigating and tracking the accused becomes extremely difficult. So investigation has its own challenge. Secondly, even if you're able to investigate, bring it under the ambit of abetment to suicide is difficult because again this involves a lot of technical aspects, digital evidence, etc. Even if you're able to prove abatement and all, but proving the relationship between the sender, the one who devised the tools, a lot of other complications arises. So anyways, now because it was a Chinese app, so government of India has banned it, but it was banned not because it was completely seen as being unsafe to children, but they also linked it with many other Chinese apps, etc. So they banned it on some other ground. So was also the concern with blue whale also. So with blue whale challenge, again, there were reports indicating that kids were inflicting harms. They were also committing suicide, attempting to commit suicide. So it's more a psychological issue, and law needs to address this. PUBG was another issue. So PUBG, sorry, is the app which recently got banned. So PUBG, in fact, had raised concerns like, again, one is addiction of children into this, children or even adults. So a psychological issue. Second issue was like naming the characters in it, and we know like how the characters. If somebody has seen, how PUBG is played, or if you've played the game, so you know the characters that are used through which the game is played can be named after children, can be named after people, and it can be a way of bullying another. It can be a way of body shaming somebody, or name calling somebody. So this is another concern that had raised because of PUBG. So in addition to all, there are many other ways through which women and children can be subjected to various forms of cybercrimes, including bullying, as I just mentioned, name calling or defaming somebody, trolling, in fact, journalists, political leaders. We keep hearing about this, reading about this. So when, such is the concern, you can imagine the plight of a common person, when journalists are also attacked, who are in fact said to be aware of their rights, duties, etc. Their rights, they know about the remedies. So imagine the plight of somebody who is unaware of these things. Even platforms like matrimonial sites have been abused. There are incidences indicating how matrimonial profiles have been, used to target specific victims to commit financial frauds, etc. For example, in 2018, the couple was arrested in Noida for misusing matrimonial platform. Through which they cheated many people. A 59-year-old person was arrested in Chennai who had committed financial frauds, targeting many women by using matrimonial websites. As a response to this, again, the Minister of IT came with an advisory in the year 2006 as a response to many other such incidences that had happened earlier. And they mandated, profile checking of people before their profiles were published through matrimonial websites. But despite all this, it's still a fact that a lot of fake profile exists on these kind of platforms. So that's the concern. So this raises the concern of privacy on one hand and security of other users. Then we do have concerns of online taxi aggregators. So especially because I'm talking about women, so I'm taking these as incidences to indicate how cyber technology sometimes, if it's not properly taken care of, its abuse can target specific victims, including women. There were incidences of rape being committed on women passengers, sexual assaults being committed on women passengers while traveling on taxi and all. So that was anyways always a concern. With taxi aggregators coming into picture, you do not know who the exam driver is. You do not know, how safe the passenger is. So that led to certain untoward incidences across the country, specifically some incidences like Delhi and all, was reported in media. So safety of passenger was a concern. And since this comes under the Motor Vehicles Act and all, which is a state subject, so states started trying to regulate this. So now at least you have some states like Karnataka, Kerala, Delhi, Maharashtra. They came with their own rules requiring taxi aggregators to ensure that women passengers are safe. So now at least you have, this GPS and all, which can be used to see, the movements of the vehicle and all. But again, later, once this travel is done, privacy concern is another issue. So on these lines, some guidelines have come, but then it is still not, because you don't have a specific law to address this. So as I was mentioning earlier, so Delhi has also come with its own rules and regulations. Karnataka has its rules and regulations now. So in fact, because of one sexual assault incident in Delhi, so the taxi aggregator services were halted for a few days. Then later, due to the guidelines and all, it resumed its operation. There's another concern which comes when it comes to, say, hotel aggregators, because we just book hotels without exactly knowing which hotel it is, how safe it is, etc. And that raises the concerns of, again, say, to women, especially if she's going to stay alone, going to travel alone when it comes to taxi aggregators. For example, there was an incident of a foreign women traveler who was who complained about one of the Oyo hotels safety measures in Delhi. So that was another concern. So as of now, again, law doesn't address this, and you need a specific, addressing of this. Like, in a sense, especially since over here the business transaction happens through online platform, can intermediaries be made responsible? If so, to what extent? How do they check the credentials of hotels that they connect through these kind of online platforms? Are the questions that the law should address. In addition to all this, conventional forms of crimes have today taken form of cyber crimes, and that includes cyber defamation. Defamation is not a gender specific offense, but when it comes to women, it will have its own social repercussions because of social factors, cultural factors, etc. For example, defaming a woman sometimes can affect her not just career prospectus, but also marriage prospectus and all. So therefore, it's a concern, and especially when it comes to, say, illegal content which depicts women in an indecent manner, etc., you need to immediately get that content blocked. So that should be the priority. Parallel investigation can also happen, but blocking it becomes extremely important. So is that possible under the current law? I'll briefly mention about that in a little while. When it comes to bullying, both women and children are the targets, especially when it comes to children. So it will have its own serious impact. So 2 years back, a child in Bangalore, one of the reputed school, committed suicide because of bullying. So sometimes it can take these kind of serious consequences. Stalking, following the women, is now being criminalized under IPC, but the provision is so wide that it also takes care of cyber stalking by saying that if a man follows a woman or continues to or continuously keeps sending messages to her that annoys her or harasses her, or monitors her internet usage, he commits offenses like sexual harassment, or at least it can come under the definition of cyber stalking. So now it's quite wide to include this offense as well. So this is 354D. So why we had to come with a law to regulate stalking? Because stalking many times just doesn't end with online internet usage monitoring. Sometimes it can lead to safety related concerns in the offline scenario. For example, a girl was murdered in Delhi in the daytime. So all these both the cases, investigation indicated that it was a stalker who had committed this offense. So you never know when stalking takes more serious or a dangerous form. In addition to all this, many times it's voluntary postings or chattings that later takes different and an ugly form and leads to certain crimes. But that doesn't mean that no one should be on social media. Women shouldn't use internet, or child should not use internet. Yes, of course, because I started my talk saying how advantageous this technology is. So of course it's beneficial, it's advantageous, but we need to see what we post, how much we post, when we post, and who are in the friend list, and who are the followers. So all these are the things that one should take care of, especially when it comes to posting something related to children. Many times we've seen that posting personal information have led to untoward incidences like kidnapping and all. So such incidences have happened. So when it comes to children, their whereabouts and all shouldn't be disclosed. But unfortunately, what has happened is on the other side, in many schools, you see that children photographs with their name, their pass percentage is published on the compounds of the school. So we hardly protect the privacy of a person. But on the other hand, when it comes to social media or internet platform, we say don't post this. So first, privacy of children is a concern, and that needs to be addressed. As of now, it's not specifically addressed, but the forthcoming PDP bill, Personal Data Protection Bill, might address this concern. So that is something that needs to be taken care of. But yes, on the other hand, whether it is a man or a woman or children, we need to be careful on how we use this platform and how much of data we share through this platform. Social media, of course, as I've been mentioning, has been abused in many forms, targeting women and children. Sometimes it has led to kidnapping, sometimes it's even led to harassment, it's even further led to suicides, etc., attempt to suicides, etc., because of its abuse. When it comes to investigation, there are challenges that investigating agencies face, because often you hardly get cooperation from social media platform when they are trying to collect information, trying to collect evidence. But there is always a concern of privacy of users that the internet platform wants to protect, as against say investigative powers of the police agency. So it's definitely a challenge. Then harassment of victims like women and children is also another concern. Let's very quickly go through the relevant provision. When it comes to Information Technology Act, Section 43 imposes civil liability for certain offences, including hacking. So hacking in general per se can come under this provision. Hacking a women's computer and all is not specifically taken care of, because anyways, it can't always be seen as a gender specific provision. But in such cases, we'll have to apply the provisions of 43 read with maybe specific provisions of say IPC, etc. Looking at the subjective case, so I'm not saying it should happen in every case, but if hacking has led to say access to confidential data, including say a video or an image, and then that's morphed or uploaded, etc. So then other provisions may also come into picture. But hacking per se gets covered under 43. Data stealing also gets covered under Section 43. As I said earlier, these are civil liability imposing provisions. But if this is committed with a dishonest or a fraudulent intention, it gets covered under Section 66. We had Section 66A of the IT Act, which said sending any message, any communication through a communication device or a computer resource, and if that information that you sent had any grossly offensive content, any menacing character in it, or it caused any intimidation, injury, insult to another, it was an offense under Section 66A. But I'm sure most of you know that now this section doesn't exist, because in Shri Singhal versus Union of India, the Supreme Court said that this section is against freedom of speech and expression, and they've removed this section. So as of now, since the section had a lot of vague words in it, and there were possibility of abuse of the power of the state invoking this section, they've removed this section. But since we've removed this section, there are other concerns that have arose. So how do you immediately remove a content which is like indecent representation of a woman and all? Can you get it blocked? So those are the questions that are yet to be addressed more specifically. So the impact of this judgment has been that social media platform is now not considered to have the responsibility to immediately remove contents online unless the content is, say, grossly offensive, or raises the question of threat to life and property. Then we have 66C, which talks about stealing identity of a person. For example, having fake profiles through matrimonial sites or on social media platform. So those kind of offenses can be dealt with through Section 66C. If this leads to cheating of a victim, where a woman gets cheated through matrimonial websites, etc., so then we apply 66D, which is cheating by personation, where I impersonate A, and then B believes I'm A, and B gets cheated, so 66D will apply. So we'll also have to apply provisions of IPC like 419, 420, which are related to cheating. Section 66E deals with voyeurism, which says if a person without consent of the victim takes, captures, transmits photograph or videos of private area of that victim without her consent or his consent, if these photographs are taken or published, so it's an offense under 66C. So this is one provision which can apply in a case of extortion. But as I said earlier, extortion is not actually taken care of through this provision, but it is publication without consent or transmission without consent or capturing without consent, which can only be dealt with under this section or through this section. Equivalent to 66E, but gender specific provision is 354C of IPC, which also is similar to what we just read in the earlier slide. So taking the photographs of a woman or video recording of a woman when she's expecting privacy is what is covered under 354C. So the difference is 66C is a gender neutral provision, 354C is a provision for which women as a victim is protected. We have 67, which criminalizes publication and transmission of cyber porn material. Similar to this, we have 67A, which criminalizes publication or transmission of cyber obscene material where there is sexually explicit content. We had a case of Dr. L. Prakash, where the trial court had convicted the accused in this case, since he was capturing photographs of his patients and all, and this involved a lot of obscene contents, porn contents. He used to sell it online, used to sell it by copying it into CD. So he was convicted under IT Act as well as under IPC. We also have case of Suhas Katti, where again there were obscene contents which were shared in the name of a woman. And in this case also, we had convictions both under IPC and under IT Act. When it comes to Amnish Bajaj case, so it raises the concern of the liability of internet intermediary. So this was a case where two children make an uploading of an obscene content, which was a video recorded content on a platform which belonged to a company called Bazi.com. So this was an online platform, and the contents were available for 38 hours. So it was not blocked for 38 hours. People had by then downloaded these illegal contents. So then the CEO of the company was arrested. Initially, bail was rejected. But however, when the quashing proceedings were taken to the High Court quashed the provisions from IPC, saying when you have IT Act, like 67, 67A, anyways, now you have these provisions. So that time we had 67. So they said when you have IT Act, you don't have to invoke IPC. So they quashed the proceedings under IPC, the sections which were invoked under IPC. And however, they said investigation under IT Act can continue. Later, when the matter further goes to Supreme Court says that when you do not name the company as an accused in the case, you cannot charge the CEO officers on behalf of the company for the same offense. So on these grounds, the accused, that is CEO of the company, was acquitted. Rather, it led to quashing, not acquittal. It led to quashing. So that's about like how intermediaries can be liable to what extent. So one is, as long as you've shown due diligence, you will not be liable. In this case, for 38 hours, there was no blocking. So due diligence question wasn't the one through which they could be saved. But however, because of technical reasons, like, when IT Act applies, IPC shouldn't apply. And when companies not named, officers of companies shouldn't be held responsible. On these lines, they get discharged. Rather, the case gets quashed. So similar to 67 is 67A, which criminalizes publishing or transmitting any sexually explicit content through online platform. Then comes the concern of child pornography. So when child porn materials are made available by anyone who tries to access this can also be punished, because law says even accessing it, possessing it, downloading it is also an offense. So compared to earlier two sections, 67, 67A, where you will have to publish, you will have to transmit to come under the provision. For child pornography, I don't have to publish, I don't have to transmit. In addition to criminalizing publication and transmission, merely accessing these contents are also criminalized under 67B. But still, despite having such a wider provision, the concern of child pornography has been an extremely serious concern. A lot of countries are striving to regulate this, including India. There was once a sting operation which was conducted by US sometime back, few years back, called sting operation. They tried to, they were just trying to entrap people who would try to attempt to access child porn material. So for this entrapment operation, they in fact posted a link on website, which was named in such a manner that people would see it, would feel that this link would take them to child porn related materials. So this was just an entrapment operation, a sting operation. But unfortunately, as per the report that was later disclosed by this FBI of US, India was the third country from where people tried to access child porn material through this link that was provided by FBI. So once this report came, so of course it involved reputation of the country. So the Supreme Court took moto cognizance of the matter, issued notice to Minister of IT. Minister of IT then constituted a committee with members of parliament in it. The committee conducted a study and they gave their response. As a result of this response, you might remember that twice the Minister of IT gave a list of websites that had to be banned, saying that these websites have porn contents in it. But they didn't make a distinction between child porn material and adult porn material. So people said this was against freedom of speech and expression, and both the time the notifications were withdrawn. So this raises the concern that what you regulate should not encroach upon freedom of speech and expression of a person. So now we have another section which specifically addresses child pornography. It's 67B, which was inserted into IT Act in 2008, which says that whoever publishes or transmits any child porn material, or whoever creates, collects, seeks, browsers, downloads. So the active space is wider. So it also includes offenses like possessing child porn material. And it also further goes to include online grooming of children, when it under clause C says whoever cultivates, entices, induces children to get into online relationships. Similarly, it also has another provision, which is whoever facilitates abuse of children online. So quite widely worded. Or whoever records his own act with the child, indicating sexually explicit behavior in it. So they can all be held liable under 67B. In addition to this, POCSO will also apply. Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act also has few provisions. But before going to that, Information Technology Act makes all these offences that I just read from 66C, 66D, 67, 67AB, all these are cognizable in nature. However, some of the offences, especially those which are not specifically against women or children, so like 65, 66, which is nothing but a criminalized version of 43, 66C and D, they are made compoundable and bailable. So if you see it from the investigation agency perspective, they might not get remand order of the accused. So this can be like one hassle that might affect their investigation. And the offences are made compoundable in nature. So many times police see this as demotivating because it's a very complex case under investigation. It involves a lot of technicalities, etc. Somehow you end up investigating, but you allow parties to compound. So from their perspective, it is seen more as a demotivating factor. But otherwise, we do have additional provisions like 354A, which is very, very widely worded, which says if a man does any of these following activities, acts against a woman, it can come under the offense. It includes physically contacting or advancing involving unwelcome and explicit sexual overtones targeting a woman, or demanding or requesting for sexual favors. So this can even include online demand or online requests, showing pornography against the will of a woman, so a form of say cybercrime that is now taken care of, making sexually colored remarks. So this can even happen through say a WhatsApp message or online platform or offline platform. So that part of the offense is now taken care of. Stalking, I've already explained. Now coming to the remedy of blocking, which is mentioning in between, can you get this contents blocked? If there is a child porn material online, can you get it blocked? So as of now, the certain is considered as an authority through which you can get a content blocked online. So yes, it is legally allowed, but the problem is in many times, even though you have a blocking order, the internet intermediary platform may not immediately block. They may want you to come with a court order, or they may say, no, this is the rights of our users, or it's about privacy of our users, or it's about freedom of speech and expression of our users. So sometimes blocking orders cannot get executed, especially if they are internet service providers not from India, not based in India. So legally, yes, we have remedy, but many times, immediately getting it blocked may not happen. And every moment, these contents exist on internet, many number of people can see this. So that's a major concern. So however, there have been incidences of courts issuing orders asking for blocking of certain IP addresses, blocking of certain websites, blocking of contents on the online platform. So the efforts are continuing. So when it comes to say within India, quite easier to execute, but when it comes to outside India, it's difficult. So that's about blocking contents on the online platform. But when it comes to say investigation, like conducting surveillance, etc., Section 69 of the IP Act empowers the government, certain specified agencies to conduct surveillance. And these agencies, as of now, it's only limited to 10 agencies. So in 2018, December, the Minister of Home Affairs has come with a list of 10 agencies who are empowered to conduct e-surveillance. And that includes, say, Delhi Police, Commissioner of Police of Delhi, NIA, National Investigating Agency, but this is more to do with terrorism kind of case. Otherwise, if you look at the agencies which are empowered, most of them are the ones who investigate either cases of terrorism or financial frauds. So when it comes to say conventional crimes or crimes especially committed against women and children, not many are empowered. So you will have to just depend on say agencies like Commissioner of Police of Delhi. But what if it's an offense that's committed in another part of the country, and we know crime is a state, a state matter. So state police, as of now, are not empowered. But if you see it from say privacy perspective, so it's better to have a limited scope when it comes to empowering agencies. But if you see from victims and investigating agency perspective, so this is the limitation of their right and the power respectively. So all these are there, but the concern is because despite all this, children are still the easy prey of such crimes. They can be easily targeted, they can be easily lured, and their trust can be easily misused. And the other concern is cyberspace provides anonymity to the accused also. It provides privacy to the accused. It provides invisibility to the accused. So you do not know who is conversing on the other side. Or I can impersonate another person by using this technology. And that makes children an easier prey because their trust can be won over. I can make you believe I am A, but I may not be A. And children tend to believe these people more easily, and that's the concern. So that anonymity as a feature of cyber technology is something that needs to be seen when laws are made or implemented. People also create fake profiles, use false identities to contact children. It's not just children, even victims also include women. So the abuse, once it starts, many times it continues for a longer period. So that's another concern. For example, stalking may not end at once, or harassment may not end at once. So you need that law to come into picture as well as possible. But we know in our country, when filing FIR for a conventional crime is difficult, filing an FIR for cybercrime is more a difficult task. This was realized by Government of India. And however, now Government of India has come with an alternative approach, which we'll discuss again in few minutes. The child is largely seen as a victim of all these offenses that I mentioned, but many times children are also seen as perpetrators of certain crimes like hacking. So most of the youngsters, since they're good in technology, sometimes they get into hacking. And we do understand there's a concept of ethical hacking that we talk about here about. But when it comes to law, law doesn't make a distinction between ethical hacking or unethical hacking. So when children are into hacking, it raises the concerns of treating them as children in conflict with law. So that's an unaddressed concern of the law, and the addressed issue which is not being addressed by the law. Child pornography, sometimes it's children who are involved in recording this, uploading this. So you have, especially if it is a recording between A and B, two kids. So there's probably one who's involved in the video, the other is recording. So many times we come across incidences of children being perpetrators, especially when it comes to, say, teenage, boy and girl sharing contents, etc. So this raises the question of the ability to punish them. Of course, law allows you to punish them, but then in these cases, should we see children as victim or should we see them as being perpetrators of wrong? Is another dilemma that needs to be legally addressed. Bullying also, many times it's the perpetrator is also a child. So you need to more sensitively address this issue. When it comes to, say, breach of privacy or especially porn contents, obscene contents, child porn contents, so they are sold on deep webs, they're sold on dark webs. Sometimes you have organized syndicates, organized groups which are involved in creating this content, selling this contents. So in those cases, you'll have to investigate a case from a different perspective. You don't see it as a regular crime, you see it as an organized crime. So that's another issue. And many times accused is known to the victim, like stalker probably is a neighbor, stalker probably is a previous boyfriend. So it involves again a lot of psychological issue. The moment victim knows who the accused is, victim may not want to pursue the case with same seriousness, right? So that is another concern. So therefore, all this continues to be a concern. And when it comes to children, many times it starts like online chatting, online conversation, online friends. But then many times, it doesn't take much time from this, content-based offense taking form of contact-based offense. Children will be called to meet at a particular place. From there, many other security-related issues starts. So therefore, we shouldn't see cyber crimes against children as just virtual crime, because anytime they can become real victims. And we've seen that happening with bullying, stalking, and other forms of offenses. So therefore, conventional crime are also a concern on online platform. At the same time, cybercrime can also become a concern on an offline platform, and this needs to be addressed. So let's see the efforts that's being taken by the law enforcement agencies, both at the international and the national level. The UN Commission on Crime Prevention and Criminal Justice realizes the fact that children are more vulnerable when it comes to online platforms. So they focus on regulating this growing menace of cybercrimes committed against children. And then the agencies of UN, including ECOSOC, also says that overall development of child requires the child to have a safer, atmosphere when it comes to cyberspace. So they do talk about development of child as a concept to include overall development, including a safer space on cyberspace, so that their development is not affected because of abuse of this technology. So talks about comprehensive method that needs to be adopted by state agencies, and this requires cooperation between countries to regulate crimes against children, including cyber crimes against children. So therefore, today we see that when it comes to child pornography, states do cooperate with each other in terms of sharing data and all, because we also see a similar obligation being imposed upon states through UNCRC, UN Child Rights Convention. For that, as an example, if you want to see, you can see a project which has been adopted in Canada, and now it's also been used by other countries, including UK. The Canada Center on Child Protection, it's a private agency, a think tank, which came with a technical solution. So they've come with this technical solution which can be used to map child porn content. So suppose there's a victim who approaches them, gives the child porn material that's now being published online. They try to map similar contents available online. So the device helps you in mapping it online, and then those devices, whoever is accessing those contents, their IP addresses gets leaked. So immediately they send a notice to that website and ask the website to block it. And if an individual is trying to access those contents, a notice goes to him and he'll be asked not to further use it. So as I said earlier, cyberspace gives anonymity to the accused. So that's the reason why probably they are encouraged to commit crime. But when they know that somebody is watching them through devices like this, it might deter them from committing the offense. So that's the object that this project tries to achieve. We do have provisions in POCSO also, as I said earlier. That's because of UNCRC, which mandated us to have a specific law to protect children against sexual offences. And as a response to this, we've come with POCSO Act. And POCSO Act specifically provides for presumption-based liability. So thereby it reduces the responsibility of the prosecution. This is all because of some of the international instruments, legal instruments, including UNCRC. POCSO goes a step ahead of IT Act because it even criminalizes people not reporting incidences of sexual harassment that they come across when child has been a victim. So if children are victimized with sexual harassment, teacher knows about it, parent knows about it, or doctor knows about it, they have an obligation to mandatorily report. Then using child porn material for various purposes is also criminalized. So it's quite widely worded. But what I want to focus more on is that this law is more child friendly when it comes to, say, procedural aspects. At the same time, it is also more prosecution friendly. So apart from, say, mandating reporting of these kind of incidences and imposing stringent punishment, they also expect the police to play a role like that of a protection officer more than an investigating officer. So that shift in the role of police is noteworthy. And when it comes to online crimes, so they do allow for presumption-based liability, as I said earlier. So they allow the presumption of mens rea, and in some cases even to an extent presumption of actus rea. So thereby reducing the extent of burden that the prosecution has. And then a couple of cases have also indicated that it is possible to even impose a death sentence for serious forms of offences committed on children. But this is not online offences, but sexual offences upon the children. So if they are aggravated forms, it can even lead to death sentence. In addition to this, Immoral Traffic Prevention Act, Indecent Representation of Women's Act also can be with extended interpretation, can be extended to online scenario. There was one case that was investigated and tried in Nagpur, say around 2.5 years back, in which the police completed the investigation of cyber stalking case within 24 hours. And the magistrate completed the trial of the case within 48 hours. So speedy justice, is also not impossible. In this case, it is an indication. In addition to this, there are a couple of recent legal developments that have happened in relation to the issue. In October 2017, the Supreme Court issued a series of recommendations through orders in response to a PIL which was filed by an NGO called Prajwala. So in Rape Prajwala case, which was all about child porn materials, it also involved incidences of rape videos which were recorded, circulated on platforms like WhatsApp, etc. So when the matter went to the Supreme Court ordered CBI to investigate this case. So investigation was done. A lot of people were arrested, charge sheets were filed. So that simultaneously happened. Parallelly, the Supreme Court also ordered the social media platforms to be more proactive, and all other internet platforms also to be more proactive when it comes to say issues of sharing gang rape videos, child porn materials on the online platform. Further, the Supreme Court also instructed internet platforms to come with their officers who can be approached by the investigating agency in the course of investigation for cooperation, etc. And also as a response to all these, ministry was also trying to come with its own remedial measures. So recently, the Ministry of Home Affairs has come with an online complaint platform. A portal is created where people can go and file cases, complaints relating to sexually explicit material available online. So today, if you come across such material available online, especially child porn material, you can file a complaint on this portal available in the MHA website, Ministry of Home Affairs website. And if a victim fears disclosure of identity, the portal even allows for anonymous filing of complaints. So that's one step ahead that we've taken. This is in addition to amendments that have happened to the law. In addition to this, very recently, Minister of Home Affairs has also announced that if anyone wants to become a volunteer in this particular issue, so they can also become volunteer and flag such illegal contents if they come across on the online platform. So all these details are available on cybercrime.gov.in. So you can go there and get these details. So this is an effort towards making women and children more safer on cyberspace. Apart from this, for the first time, India has come with a formal approach towards maintaining database of offenders. Any offender who is being convicted under a certain category of offences, including under POCSO, so their database will be henceforth maintained so that it is helpful in future cases. So profiling of victims has started. So these are parallel measures that have come along with the legal provisions that's getting extended day by day. But still, I feel it's a long way to go, because unless we are all personally aware of the safety measures that one can take care of, and unless parents or teachers and other elders are aware of this concern and stigmatization of victim doesn't happen, so no, it is difficult to ensure protection of children. Why I say this is because of what had happened sometime back in one of the incident. A child's photograph on Facebook, which was a decent photograph, got tagged with an obscene text content. So initially, the child's parents blamed the child for even having a Facebook account. And then they, however, go and file a case with the police. Police were trying to get this blocked, but it takes time to get this blocked. Meantime, the child committed suicide. So the stigmatization, blaming the victim, those kind of further victimization of victims should stop. So I think that help should come from the friends, the family, the surrounding, and then police, of course, will do their duty. But since it's a time-consuming process to get these kind of contents blocked, etc., internet platform should also be more proactive. So with this, I end my talk, but we can take your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I request Professor Dinesh Kolte to begin with the question and answer session.
Thank you, Asif. Please, those who have the question, please put the question in a chat box, or directly may ask the question to the respected madam.
There's probably a question in Hindi. If somebody can read it, I'll understand.
Madam, there is a question from Devilal Sundesha from Rajasthan.
Okay.
Yes, madam. भारत में LGBT समुदाय में वृद्धि विषय. There is a. I hope you.
Okay.
Do you understand the?
I can. Only reading would be slow, sir. जो सारे भारतीयों के लिए. Okay. See, I think it's one's choice. But then if there are any remarks against an individual's sexuality, etc., so you have to know provisions of sexual harassment. So that's where the problem. As of now, it's not a gender-neutral law. So it is where a man commits this offense on women. So unfortunately, the law is like that. But it is like that because of, say, Nirbhaya incident. You wanted to have that extended protection. You wanted to give through these provisions to women. So it comes as a man or even like LGBT and all. So as of now, the law is unclear. So maybe when a matter goes to the court will have to say that, this provision is wide enough to include even this kind of community. So that way, if you see them as targets, so expressly, as of now, there's no specific provision, but it needs that extended judicial interpretation.
There is one question.
Yeah. Yes.
There is one question from Kavita Sharma, madam. What precautions should we parents take when we see children playing Minecraft like games? Are they safe?
There are a lot of concerns. So one is when we are downloading, they might end up downloading, say, malwares with it. So just check which game they are playing. Is it safe, licensed versions, all that. So one is that. So what do they download with that? As and when they keep downloading is a concern. So many times it's possibility of, say, malwares getting downloaded. So for this, you need to have good antivirus, applications and also. That's one thing. Second thing is, as I was mentioning earlier, so sometimes they keep downloading as the level increases, maybe it will also involve, like, say, deduction of your money and all. So children should be made aware that when they are downloading something, if it asks for their consent, they should consult the parents. So sometimes it doesn't happen. So personally, I've come across a lot of parents saying how, like, they lost money because child just kept, playing and then, started downloading other versions and all. So that's another thing. The third version is the third problem is hacking and all. So, sometimes it can take that ugly form. Somebody gets in contact with the child and all that. But the fourth and the most common concern is, now, if you're using the same device for, say, playing a video game, especially not a protected one and all, without proper protections. And same device is also used for online purchase, online payment. So then there is a risk. So segregate the device. So don't give the device through which you make online payments and all, because it may have your bank details and all. So if child is playing, let the child play on a different device with all this precaution, but don't mix the same device. Similarly, for your online transaction also, you want to buy something online is okay, but use a separate bank account which has a less money. Don't use the salaried account. So don't use those bank accounts which has huge, funds and all. So like this segregate. So try to take this kind of precautions. So one is technical safeguards with antivirus programs, patches, etc. The other is, better not to, even you get into a platform which is not trustworthy. Third is segregate the devices. Don't use the same device for these kind of thing, like, watching a online movie or playing an online game. Don't use the same device for online transactions, financial transactions especially.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you so much for that answer.
Thank you.
Saksham is listening to your answer, and because he keeps downloading all these Minecraft and other games, now he will be more cautious. He has promised.
That's more important. That the message goes to child is more important.
But this advice is very useful, and we have to be very mindful when we are using our devices, that we cannot use the same device for that. I mean, we should all keep that in mind.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Nice to see you, Dr. Nagarathna.
Thanks, Kavita. Thank you so much.
Thank you, madam. Next question is there from Deepti Susan Thomas, madam.
Hi, Deepti.
Can you comment on effectiveness of the remedies? There is another question from Deepti Susan Thomas, madam, from Bangalore, I think. Madam, can you comment on from Christ University? Madam, can you comment on effectiveness of the remedies provided under IT Act in case of cybercrime, because it doesn't take long for the content to reach a larger audience?
Nowadays, what I personally notice is remedy that the law provides, may sometimes be different from the remedy that a victim wants. For example, financial frauds. I want my money back. So it's gone and I just want my money back. And we see in large number of cases, at least these days, police are also focusing more on getting back your money than investigating. Of course, investigation will parallelly happen if FIR gets registered. So many other things. It's time-consuming process. So that's one thing. But then I need my money back. So focus is on immediately reverting that transaction, reversing the transaction. When it comes to, say, objectionable contents about women and children, I think as a victim, the larger concern is to get immediately those contents blocked. So some obscene content is available online depicting a particular person. So that person would want to immediately get that withdrawn, get that blocked. So that should be the focus. But unfortunately, this is what I was trying to indirectly indicate in between. That takes time. By the time you approach that internet platform where that material is available, convince them that, look, this is not as per community standard according to your own rule, or this is against the law of our country. So, and then by the time you convince and get it blocked, there are many other people who have seen it. There are many other people who have downloaded it also. That's the concern. So immediate blocking may be the real remedy in that case. Parallel investigation and all is another issue. So I think it goes subjective to a case. So specific to a particular cybercrime, remedy can be different. But when it comes to remedies available under IT, that imprisonment, fine and all. So those remedies we are talking about. So this has to follow an investigation. And between, I was indirectly mentioning again certain challenges that affects investigating agency. So forensic evidence or collection of evidence from abroad, because many times you're using internet platforms which may not be based in India, which belongs to a company not based in India. So a lot of other issues, jurisdictional issues. So, or lack of training to investigating officers, or difficulty in appreciating technical evidence. So effective investigation prosecution still is a challenge. So thereby getting that remedies indicated in the IT Act is still extremely difficult. But maybe that's the reason why we need to come up with a parallel measure, like at least in these cases, that immediate remedy beyond what the law allows for should be the focus. But then that's not as per the law framework. But I think in these kind of cases, you need to see it more from victim perspective. What victim wants is that immediate, a remedy. Yeah. So the question about, yeah, I'll read myself, not an issue. Sir. So 66A's removal, I'm personally not convinced, because 66A had 3 subsections. Subsection 1, of course, was completely vague. They could have removed it. They've removed it, fine. Subsection 2 was partially vague and partially not vague. It says sending any message which you know is false, and you still repeatedly send it. Okay, and then they say in freedom of speech and expression allows you to do it. So when you know it is false, you still repeatedly send it. What freedom of expression is the law trying to protect? Especially some words used in it. That message is false and can cause injury to another. Injury to another, it's not just annoyance. It's not just like having a menacing character in it. Causing injury to another. Or it makes you believe that you've got it from one source, but it's come from another source. Basically, it's about phishing. It's also about online cheating. So while protecting freedom of speech and expression, I feel they have left certain concerns unaddressed. And when you see it, especially from women and children perspective, any illegal online content available, you need a court order now, because in Shri's single case, the Supreme Court, apart from saying that 66A is unconstitutional, they also say that 69A blocking orders can be issued only, like blocking can be done provided there's a court order. By the time, we all know in India, by the time you go to the court, get a blocking order, this illegal content is circulated, seen, published multiple times. So that was the problem with Shriya Singhal. However, in Prajwala case, Supreme Court says internet platforms should be more proactive, especially when it comes to rape videos being circulated, child pornography being circulated. So child porn material, then materials which have sexually explicit content is okay. But sometimes the concern is, it may not be clearly indicating material which can come under this kind of a term. Like for example, the that incident I said where a girl committed suicide. So it was a photograph which was recent, but the text was abusive in nature. The text content which was in Tamil language had obscene content in it. By the time you convince the internet platform to say that this is against community standard, please block it, a lot of time is consumed. Meantime, the victim has committed suicide. So therefore, there is a concern that goes unaddressed because of Shriya Singhal judgment, I feel. So we need a section that takes care of safety and security of women online. So you may say IPC has provisions and all, but because of Shriya Singhal judgment, we had incidences of ISPs refusing to cooperate with police, ISPs refusing to block immediately. They take time. And now you need court orders. So all those complications are there. Prajwala case is a good direction, but still, again, long way to go, because it's hard to get cooperation of ISPs because of what had happened with in relation to Shriya Singh case. So freedom of speech and expression, it comes with 19 clause 2's reasonable restrictions, which also talks about decency and morality. But when it comes to, say, online, blocking of online contents, it's still a difficult task. Yeah. Any other questions? child perpetrators on cyberspace in India, whatever I read from the slides are the laws. That's it. So child is a victim, you have POCSO. Offenders can be liable under POCSO if at all they're committing any offense that targets children. So it's the same law, IPC read with POCSO. More specifically, it's POCSO. If it is child pornography, 6 to 7D will apply. So the laws are just what we just discussed today. Yeah. See, bullying is not, the question is difference between cyberbullying and cyber harassment. So bullying is not a legal term. So it's just like, I can say like, bullying can take various forms. It can be like, as I said earlier, body shaming, name calling, defaming. So basically it's like doing things that would annoy, intimidate victim, etc. So bullying is not legally defined anyway. However, sexual harassment by a man on a woman or by a person on a child is addressed through IPC and POCSO respectively. So therefore, bullying is a wider term, but if bullying has taken form of harassment as defined in these sections of IPC or POCSO, only then it gets addressed. So otherwise, they are like, sometimes they overlap with each other, but as I said, bullying can take form of, say, defamation. So then you'll apply defamation law. It can take form of harassment. And if the victim is a woman, you'll apply IPC. Victim is a child, you'll apply POCSO, like that. So otherwise, it's not a legal term.
I hope questions have been over. There is no any questions. Vasek, please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Now I again kindly request Professor Dinesh Kolte, sir, to deliver vote of thanks.
Thank you,
Over to you,
Vasek.
sir.
Thank you, Vasek. Again, good afternoon to one and all. It gives me an immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks of this second sessions of fourth day. I express my deep sense of gratitude to Dr. Nagarathna A. Madam, Chief Coordinator, Advanced Center on Research, Development and Trainings in Cyber Laws and Forensics of National School of India University, Bengaluru. Madam, who deliver us today presentation on the important topic and current topic, which is most important, that is cyber crimes against women and children. And Madam has us various provisions regarding cyber, regarding the women and children in Information Technology Act, as well as Madam also inform us about the various leading case laws, and at the same time, Madam has also warned us and precaution us about while taking the care of our children and to the young generations. Thank you, Madam, for your kind informations and guidance. At the same time, and again, I say, I express my sincere and special thanks to Dr. Nagarathna Madam, who, because she is the head of the Cyber Center of NLSIU, and with whom we are in collaborations. We have been organizing these webinars on cyber emerging trends in cyber crimes. For that, again, I extend my special thanks to Nagarathna Madam. Dr. Anju Singh Madam, who delivered the welcome address, I also express my thanks to her. I would like to thank all the participants who are here since morning and for last 4 days. And again, I mentioned here this session. Again, I say to thank him for his anchoring this program. Special thanks to Shubham Jaiswal, who assisted us technically on this program. Once again, I say thank to all and Dr. Nagarathna Madam. Thank you, Madam. Thank you all the participants.
And all the organizers for taking all the pain in organizing. So
yes.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks to everyone.
Thank you. There is one notice to all the participants. Tomorrow we start the session at 10:30, and immediately there will be a valedictory session on Honorable Dr. Vivekananda Sir, Vice Chancellor, HNLU Raipur. He is be the chief guest for the valedictory session. Thank you. Please. I declare this session is over. We have already submitted the feedback form linked to the in previous sessions, both for first session and second session also. Thank you, friends.